Hello and welcome. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons, or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So if this is not something you want to watch, well, if you're watching this from YouTube or Twitch, you're in luck. They give suggestions, either to the right or to the left. Pick one, and we wish you a very pleasant evening. For everyone else who actually wants to be here, who actually wants to watch Dungeons and Dragons, watch us playing Dungeons and Dragons, just doesn't want to do something else, that works also. Welcome, if you're new. If you're not new, coming back from a previous session, like Valenly sometime, but I don't know if she's there right now because nothing happens in the chat. If you're not new, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you with us, all of you, no matter who you are, so long as you don't shout obscenities in the chat. You can write the word obscenities if you want, but not what relates to it. And that's about it. If you like the ambiance, ambient mixer, information in the window below. I will add the information for Wonder Giraffe and Dungeon Alchemist, and I just realized that I didn't save the updates saying that there is a rebroadcast in the information below. So I'll try to update the whole thing at the same time when I stop being sick. And that's about it. Anyone else want to say something?
Something.
That's good. I agree with this. All right, then. Let's get started. No, it was fine. It was great. Short. Said everything you needed to say. It's like they said, short and sweet. All right. Now, where were we last episode? Yes.
We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. No.
Really? You sure about this? Oh, man.
Maybe. I think it was Pathfinder last week. I'm sorry. I should have remembered. It's my bad.
Maybe. I'm not sure. You know, it does all sounds familiar. Who knows? Maybe in the future.
This isn't my World of Darkness game?
Now that you mention it, could be.
It's gonna be.
Maybe we're playing a whole bunch of system all at the same time. You know, very soon we're gonna start seeing mecha battles.
Go.
I know a few systems that do mecha battles. It's just not Dungeons and Dragons. All right.
And that's when Fisher pulls out a gun. Not an arcane crossbow, just a gun.
Yep. Well, he's not big enough, so it won't technically be mecha. It would probably more be cyborg, so
Plasma pistol.
A cyberpunk type of universe.
Yeah,
Wait,
no,
I got
Fisher's
it.
gonna
Fisher
die, but his body's gonna stick around, and then Terry is gonna find out how to use his body as a mech, and then that's gonna be my second character.
Or, alternatively, Fisher becomes the gun.
Oh, yeah.
Fisher was an arcane crossbow this entire time.
Yep.
So this means that we're gonna launch Fisher? Alright, so let's get started before Sam falls asleep. The last episode, the party...
That's an already risk.
It's late over there.
True.
Well, it's the same time as for me. The party finished recovering from the consequence of their arrival in the Misty Isles, while half of the party worked on a herbal concoction to completely cure them of their fatigue. The other half of the party explored the city they were in order to better understand their new surrounding and have a better idea of where they want to go next. Wow, I really should have put some sort of punctuation in there. Once the exploration was done, tea was served, and a restful night was taken. And then they all decided to leave the comfort of the inn.
Not to be confused with the Comfort Inn.
Well, you know, one thing you can say about those, they're comfortable. And so, their exploration of the city as a group started. And, yes, that's right. To go with this, please forgive the rudimental appearance of this map, because I had to find a software during the week which allowed me to create sort of a city and then try to use it well and then do research on how a medieval city looked like, and then voila! If you look on the stream window, you have the map of the city you are in right now.
Yay.
And if you want to have the same version, but that you can zoom in for my group. This is
Sick.
where you are, the city in which you are right now.
Damn.
Took me a whole week doing this. I'm not sure I want to do this for the other big city of the island you are. The island chain you are.
Personally, I can't wait till you present us the map of the underground catacombs.
Well,
So
that's-
guys, I was actually I was thinking we left the city and actually went to the other big city. I think that was.
So actually, this is the map of the other city, not the.
Oh, sorry. This was the other. The
Oh,
other
it's the other city. Oh, okay. I actually think we should stay here, guys.
So are there interior walls?
Yes. So you can notice on the perimeter there are sort of these towers. The same towers can be found on interior walls. So it is a grand total of 7 district. The way that they just pile onto one. Oh, I forgot to make one of the opening. All right. There is an opening. I'm gonna place a monster token. I forgot to place an opening where the monster token is. It's actually where you went last episode. So, so yeah, it really does look like the city was built. There was the center part where the actual process was, where they would process people. It sort of eventually became a fortress. And then villages started to appear on the periphery of that. Eventually they made walls, and it just kept on grafting itself like this. This is why it sort of had this sort of appearance. Then eventually, because the outside is so hostile, instead of always growing outward, they started to densify the way the city was made. So this is why there are so few green places. Also, the software was very picky about where it places its green place, so I couldn't place a whole lot of them. But, yeah.
Question, where are we on this map?
So, you spent the night... I'm gonna have to play with the tokens a bit. You spent the night in a little place right around where I have placed an NPC token on the map. And Civ has advised you to go where there is a red monster token on the map. This is where the library that shares a wall with the outside is placed, and currently you are where there is a yellow monster token.
Wait, the yellow monster token is what again?
Where you are right now, while you are being swarmed by kids. The yellow token should show up in a moment.
All right, I was hitting children at the end of the last session.
Yes. All right. For Zachary, since I know your sight is not incredibly good on map like this, the where you were is third up and third to the right. There is a small NPC token there. I'm gonna increase the size. You spent the night on the lower left corner of that token, so at least you're gonna be able to see it.
Okay, so we're there.
The monster token that is red. The library is just beside it, and you are right now in sort of a town center near the yellow monster token. So
Okay, I have my Krita app open and I'm marking it.
That's a good idea.
all right. So can you see better where everything is?
Oh yeah, that helped.
Okay. So I'm gonna put them back on a size that's slightly smaller.
And you said that green one is where
You spent the night.
where we're staying at?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is where you spend the night, which reminds me, you never paid for the last 20 silver the second night, so someone's gonna have to pay for this.
Can we say we did it on the way out?
Yeah, you can. So long as there's a missing
got
20
it.
silver for someone, yeah, no, absolutely.
Alright, I got it.
All right. So this is the map that Civ gave you. Of course, when you took the map, you sort of had this moment of, ah, great, a map. And then you open it, and then you realize that there were 3 maps. Because most of the city has 3 tiers. I don't want to draw the 2 other tiers. Because I'd have also to draw the stairs leading to the 2nd and 3rd tiers. So what you're seeing is the bottom tier, where most of the streets are and where you'll be going. There are always ways to have little shortcuts, not in major streets. There are no bridges across, but in smaller quarters, when the streets become a little bit more narrow. There definitely are sometimes a row of house that will be on top, so it creates a covered alleyway. Just mentioning it so that you keep in mind that you have other options from time to time to travel around the different part of the city. But yeah, so this is roughly where the city is. So I know that it's not obvious, but there is an exit in the lower part, upper part, and there's one on the southwest and, well, mostly west part of the city. Those are the actual gateway out. And for you watching, yes, I know it's really not obvious to see that. Let's see. Maybe I can blow up the map a little bit. I'm gonna have to remove the tokens. and just have you watch portion of this scene. No, that's not gonna work because I'd have to dig a hole in the middle of my map. Alright.
Diggy hole.
I'd have to hollow out the center of the map and create a different layer for it so that I could slide the map and only see a portion of the map. I need to do this before a stream, not during a stream. Alright. So, well, at least you have an idea of what this looked like. And if you're wondering, the software I use was Townscape. So, yes, you can build something like this with the Townscape software.
Oh, if that helps anyone. Oh, that is so hard to see.
Well, you know. Not so bad, not so bad. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, so. Now that you know where you are, yes, we left off with a bunch of kids having identified Fisher as being a conductor, but fortunately there was a teacher with them that reminded them that no, conductors do not wear armor. Who wears armor on a train? The arbalist, which is essentially the person providing protection for the conductor. And while this does ring some sort of familiarity for you, Fisher, you can't confirm that it's actually what you were made for, but it does fit part of the images and feeling that you had when you were on the train and you had this familiar moment where you tried to lean into, and you had that reflex of grabbing something on your side, long, metallic. That image would fit with you being this type of person. You might have been that for long, since you sort of had a muscle memory moment of it, but there's no confirmation about was it actually that, or was it just something that you did for long enough for you to acquire a reflex about this. You don't have confirmation for any of those elements, but it's definitely your strongest lead as to probably what might have been the job that you did for the longest time. So, I believe we left off as the kids all went ballistic by the fact that you might have seen combat and you might have protected the train against invaders, and everyone was asking you questions, and then the audience decided to lean in into the grandfather thing and asked Jorg for a staff and started to hit the kids in a very Yoda-looking moment to try and get them to move away.
She's a really big Yoda.
Different color also. And George just looking at the teacher saying, I really need to go. And this is where we left off. I believe that what happens when you say we need to go, you have a moment where you see the teacher just being surprised for a moment and then just, oh, I'm so sorry, miss. Kids, remember what we said about machines that have their own thoughts? Give them a little bit of breathing room, just like a person. You immediately see some of the kids becoming a little bit more quiet and being more respectful, but it doesn't completely quiet down everything that's happening. Maybe half of them suddenly, we're sorry, mister. But the other half just keeps asking questions and questions and questions. And audience probably just lean on this and starts selecting a little bit more which kid he's trying to push away. And
Whichever kid speaks up next gets hit with my stick.
So,
Or George's staff, I guess.
Yeah.
well, for you, it's a
You know
stick.
what?
Trying to get that back.
Yeah, you're just one hitting them like they're all dead now.
Well, I mean, I could. They probably have like 5 HP, but I'm not. I just divine smite a child.
All right. Yeah. Roll initiative.
Oh, goodness. So, yeah, you keep pushing these kids away, and eventually it quiets down, and you see one of those kids that is looking at Fisher, then he looks at you, audience, and he has a frown on his face, and you just hit him with the stick. He's looking at you and rubbing his head. You're just a mean old man, and kicks you in the shin.
Can I roll the dodge? Can he beat my 22 AC?
Do you want to play the old man part?
Well, the thing is...
Actually, honestly, the problem is he would just kick my hard ass scales.
Well, that's a bit where I was going with this. You take damage when something reduces your ability to keep on surviving in combat. So
Honestly, I'm more worried about the kid breaking his foot.
So
My
technically,
leg.
stubbing your toe is not enough to lose a hit point. Because after 2 or 3 minutes, you're okay. And that's probably what happens. You have this moment of where... And no, he didn't roll natural 20. You have this moment of where the kid just kicks you in the shin, and you have this moment of, ah, you little devil. But he looks at you and... You're just a meanie. Oh, and he starts walking away, limping a little bit.
You kicked my wooden leg, Sonny. I got that back in the day when a shark bit off my leg.
You see the teachers going, "We're very sorry. We really didn't mean anything, and please have." And then she stops. She stops talking, and you've never seen someone's face go as wide as this, as fast as this.
Oh no! I'm gonna roll
The
perception.
blood literally drains from her face, and she has a moment of... And you recognize this instinctive feeling of looking down when you think you are in front of a predator that can rip off your head without effort. Audience, you said you want to make a perception roll?
Just like a quick perception to
Go
see
ahead.
what she's scared by. Oh no! I freaking turned on my thing again. I have to turn off my thing so I can roll my dice every time.
What did you
In
turn
the
on?
acceleration mode,
It's
you
fine.
turn
I
it
got
off.
I got a 7, so I don't even know if I noticed anything. Someone else can notice.
Do I notice her get all freaked out too?
With your passive perception, with Jorg, Tobiashi, and Remy's passive perception, yes, I'm pretty sure that you instinctively notice that she was looking right past all of you when this happened, and then she just looked down. And you can
What?
even notice her hand starting to shake a little bit.
Ah,
I would
okay.
look as
Remy looks
inconspicuous as
behind in her.
possible.
Okay,
Sorry.
and Remy?
Remy looks in the direction she was looking at, assuming what I think is there.
There is a
I
moment...
assume I know what's over there.
There is a moment of mixed reaction when you turn around, because initially you have this moment of, oh, it's just Civ. And then you realize that you can't see the blue lines where his joints should be. It's...
Wait, before we continue, just look at chat. Before we continue, let's calm down here.
Oh my god.
Tier 1. Oh.
Yeah, no, Sam, you missed
gonna
before the
need-
stream when the DM went through a bunch of stuff Avery should make sure to remember about his character so that he could play it better.
If you want to stay alive, you're gonna need a tier 3 right now.
Maybe you should gift subs, 5 or 6. I don't know.
I just want to throw that in there before we continue this.
You- Just think about it.
So, I think we're losing Jorg. His voice has become very mechanic.
We're so for this now.
Totally understand.
Is mine robotic too?
Well, apparently.
My percent.
Okay.
No.
Yours was 5.
Which connection are you on?
Okay.
I'm on 2.4.
Oh, I'm always on 5. 5 is better.
Okay, I'm switching to 5. You guys have been glitchy. I may or may not
I'll disconnect for
disconnect.
just a split second.
for just a
maybe.
sec.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Why wouldn't he automatically choose 5?
Sometimes like on my phone, it automatically puts me on the lower one for some reason. So I have to switch it every time.
Mine, I usually do 5, and then at one point the internet went down, and I switched, and then I forgot to switch back.
Okay. All right. So, like I was saying, you have this instinctive moment of looking and having this. Okay, it's just Civ, but you realize that the colors on his joints is not that bright blue. It's a bright red, and you see on the chest capital C, small I, small V, capital E, dash, and 4 numbers.
What were the numbers? Are they the numbers we're supposed to avoid?
The one we're supposed to
it's not
avoid
the
is
right
a MAR E number, not
Yeah.
a Civ.
Oh no, C. Oh, not a
It's-
CE. Right,
It's
CE
a
is
Mari.
different.
It's a Mari It's a Mari unit that you're supposed to avoid, not a Civi.
Easy, we can take this guy. Let's just
Uh-huh.
There's 2 of them.
I'll act like I
Okay,
didn't.
change my mind.
I'll act like I didn't see them and stand in between Grandpa and the woman. I'm like, it's
I'm
fine, it's fine.
I'm gonna
Everything's
continue
okay.
acting like an old man because I feel like that's the best disguise. Just gonna keep.
The woman.
Yeah, that's right. Run off, children.
Everything's
Gotta
okay.
get
My
back
grandpa's a
about
little
our
bit. My grandpa's a
business.
little bit crazy nowadays. Little going off in the head a little bit.
The woman is still looking down, being scared, so scared, with her hands shaking. Nothing happened. Nothing happened here. It was just a small misunderstanding. Everything is fine. And she looks at you, Fisher, with not just pleading eyes, but begging, and the most, please, say something that's not gonna get me killed. Roy.
I don't know what that is.
I guess I'd turn around to the units and just go, everything's fine here.
Nothing to report.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
The 2 units look around, and they look at all the children. One of them simply say in a cold, very, very cold voice, children are not allowed to bother other units, especially if they are in the midst of their own duties. Remember this, or your school will suffer the consequences. Yes. I'm very sorry. She even bows down slightly, trying to move away. I promise I will control the children better for the next time. Thank you. She moves away, and for Jorg, Tobiashi, and Remy, it's even easier to see in her voice. She's nearly crying. And is doing her best to just gather every single child with her, and in a very motherly fashion, trying to push them all behind her and leaving with her between the children and the two civvy units as she's leaving. Not looking up. You're not sure if it's something that happened or if it's just normal reflex, but she is not looking up a single time and completely focusing her attention on the children and not forgetting one. And she seems to be very intent in not forgetting one, as if those units aren't scared of using children to make sure someone complies.
Is she forgetting one?
No.
I was about to say, I'll look around and see if she forgets one.
I'm not doing an escort mission for a child right now.
Even the one that's limping because he still is feeling the pain of trying to kick audience in the shin. She just grabs him and holds him in his arms, not letting him touch the ground, and just moves away.
Part of it kind of wishes that she just pick him up by like the back of his shirt and just like, carrying him that way.
She doesn't want to do anything which would give him the opportunity to try and escape.
I'm gonna lead into Fisher and say, take my arm and start walking away with me. Like, you were leading me. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Two units, the two unit just looks at all of you and move along.
Will do. I start walking behind them.
Does anyone linger or everyone moves in a group?
I don't linger.
Okay.
Jorg's dog lingers.
Come
Pees on one of the units.
We hear a gunshot sound,
Stick to the
followed by a yelping sound, followed by deathly quiet.
No! My dog!
Has anyone else seen I forgot the name of the movie. Never mind.
John Wick?
No.
Last-
John Wick's good. Yeah, I turned into John Wick.
Jorg
You
pulls out a gun.
you were also thinking of Equilibrium. That was the movie
Equilibrium,
Okay.
that is the one I was thinking of.
You see, I could read minds.
Yeah, you can.
Well, Sam can, not audience.
We need to make that clear.
Yeah.
What about Remy? Does he leave with the group, or does he try to do something else?
Imagine a universe where Raimi willingly abandons audience.
Well, he just asked Fisher to lean in and help him move throughout this town square. You know, he just abandoned you.
Listen, I gotta play the part of an old man.
I know. All right.
Look, Raimi knows that there's no chemistry between the two. Fisher's not on the list.
You're not on the list.
Oh goodness! Audience and Remy have the same list. It just doesn't say the same thing on the list. You move away, and one thing that becomes very clear very quickly is that everyone is quiet on the town square. After this moment of leaves your mind, you sort of realize that everyone in the town square did the same thing. And they just... the level of sound became whispers. And fleeting stare, fleeting look at what was happening. Everyone didn't want to provoke anything. Even people...
I like to think.
Yeah?
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna make a joke, but I like to think that everybody in the city has really practiced holding their breath.
Sure seems like it.
They all have proficiency in deep diving. You don't know why. even the people that were haggling and aggressively haggling for the prices, they just stopped, and you can just see some of them just giving the money to the store owner and leaving with whatever they had, whatever price they were offered, not asking questions. They move slowly, intentionally. This is where it hits you even more than before. They have the same walk as Civ. It is literally the same type of armor they have. Even their cloak. You get the feeling that Civ might have had a different cloak because his is slightly darker. But it's the same style, the same color. Very dull, nearly black-gray. They're moving through the town square, slowly, going where there was sound, where there was aggressive sound, people haggling, people trying to get a better deal. But whenever they get there, no one's there. Everyone's just looking down and, can we help you? They don't answer. They just keep moving. Do you stay in this town square long enough to see them leave it, or do you leave the town square just like everyone else as soon as you can?
I think we're out as soon as we can.
Yeah, I think we just
Going
keep
towards
walking.
The library.
Keep headed towards the library.
All right. Fortunately, you didn't seem to have done anything that drew the attention of these units for a longer period of time. The moment you leave the square, you find people just sheltering themselves from their gaze. The first street that you enter, a smaller street, you just see people there going, are they gone? And they're just waiting for them to clear this place before going back in. You even see another class of children. This one with a halfling trying to lead them, but managing. Just telling everyone, quiet down. Just a moment, be patient. Remember what we said about patience? Then you hear one of the kids just go, yeah, he's mean. No, not... You manage to leave this place relatively easily. The further you get, the more people start talking normally. You have this mini town square where there's just this pump for water, and you see a lot of people there just talking a little bit, saying, "Oh, is that true? Did he sound got a little bit too aggressive in the town square? Heard a few enforcers made their way there." Some people just saying, "I don't know, I wasn't there. I really didn't want to go there, but yeah, I think there was 2 of them. Must have been really, really." Did anything happen to anyone? You're just another one saying, "I heard someone got taken away. Chains just went out and they just took it and they left. That's why everyone got quiet. And I heard it was a teacher." And everyone just go, oh, not another one.
Have you heard there's a rumor in St. Petersburg? Have you heard?
Everyone's nervous, but even from 3 streets away, it's already becoming more of a... feels like a bit of a myth of what happened 10 minutes ago. in the town square, You're sure the gossip's gonna catch up, and it's not gonna be just a gossip like this, but just a rumor like this. But for now, everyone is slightly panicked and wondering if
Go over a
something...
few more blocks, and you're like, a whole section of the city is just gone now.
We lost an entire district in the city. Really? I'm pulling your leg. Stop doing this. So, you keep on moving for a little bit. Unless you want to help those poor people get the story straight. You just keep on going for a little.
Not my job.
You keep on moving a little bit, and start getting into those less lit corner of the city. You see the wall in front of you. It's actually quite high, and it's making shadows for a good 2 or 3 streets before reaching the library where you're trying to go. You immediately have this feeling of, oh, well, not a lot of people probably come here. Immediately, you find yourself in places where there is a second floor above you, and you're walking in small alleys. Remy, you recognize these small alleys where crime usually occurs. Even you have this little sense in your mind just warning you that someone might be watching you. Not an enforcer, just, those type of people that like to watch people entering in dark alleys.
Yeah, just like, it's like, well, if they're not going to murder us behind that dumpster, then it's probably the next one down. And that looks like a hole somebody would crawl out of.
Yeah, feels so. Oh goodness, there's someone actually crawling out of that hole. Oh no, he's crawling out and screaming, "Save me, save me!" Okay, that's okay. We're good. We're good.
Everything's normal.
But actually, I'm not kidding. You do have a moment of where you feel like there are eyes watching you. Humanoid eyes. With flesh on their body.
Flesh that is naturally part of them.
Yes.
Not like just wearing the skin of a humanoid for fun.
Ominously
like a
gross way
costume.
of saying it.
Yeah, the dungeon master's saying if there's people watching you, they're rogues, normal rogues, not monster rogues. You're nearly there when you see this human kid, probably 10 years old. One street before you have the street where there is the beginning of the walls of this library, and he's just there watching, and he's being very careful about not being seen from the other side of the street, but not so much from behind him. And this is why even the audience notices him, like kid doing this. Like, seems to be waiting for something.
We all noticed this kid.
Yeah, like I said, he's very focused on being well hidden from the library, but not so much from behind him. It's one of those situations where you roll at disadvantage, you roll a natural 20 and then a natural 1. You're really well hidden from whatever's in front of you, but everyone can see you from behind you.
Who's gonna spook him?
Maybe just tiptoes over and taps him on the shoulder.
Just in case, I might roll not a natural 20. So, just in case he saw you, natural 20 do occurs from time to time. You gently tap on his shoulder, and you have the kid just go, "Oh my God!" He looks at you and start running as fast as he can, right into a wall for a moment, and just goes, "Oh!" And then tries to go away somewhere else.
We stop him.
You can try. It's a child. He's not running as fast as a grown person.
Would it make... Nah, never mind.
He was really surprised by Remy. He turned around and started running right into a wall. You have a moment where he just goes, "Paf!" You have a chance to try and grab him if you want. Before he starts running again in another direction.
Yeah, I'll grab him.
Alright.
What are you doing?
Let me go. I didn't do anything. I'm not watching. I didn't do anything wrong.
Sounds to me like he did something wrong.
I didn't. You can't prove anything.
If you were watching, what did you see?
Not watching. My eyes are closed. My
You just
eyes
said you
are
were watching.
closed.
He said he wasn't watching.
No, even Remy, even audience can suspect that he's lying. But
we're not.
Kid, you're not in trouble.
that's what they always say. That's what the adult always say before they smack you behind the head.
Well, maybe you should.
Are his eyes still closed?
Yes.
It's like suddenly the smell of chocolate truffle like enters his nose.
I didn't watch. You just open one eye, just this little. What's this? He opens both eyes. You eating something? And you suddenly hear his stomach just go. You eating something? Can I have some?
Nice.
I'm always nice. You can't prove that I was given coal last year.
Sure. What were you watching for?
I'm not watching for anything. Who said I'm watching for anything?
Do you want food?
You can see he is being very torn up inside. There is something. Can I at least know a little bit more about my reward?
Maybe just breaks off a piece.
You see his hand sort of stretching out toward it, and you get the feeling that he's not even doing this voluntarily. It's just this. Can I just touch it? he touches just a little bit the piece that you broke off, and someone went inside the library
When?
this morning.
What do they look like?
Can I have a piece of the chocolate? I answered one question. I even answered two.
I'll look to Rami.
Raimi extends the arm further.
Grabs it really quick. You must be. What's the coin that you put inside?
He put a silver.
Okay. Wow, you must be really rich. It was tall and slender. Passive insight for Remy, and who has a passive insight? Oh, hold on. Remy.
Not me.
Well, everyone has one, but
No, a high passive insight, I mean.
I just have 16.
I have 14.
Okay, so. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's Remy. That's Tobiyashi. Remy, I believe you took a proficiency in it. Is that it? Yeah, that's why I have.
I now have
13.
expertise in it.
Yeah, you have expertise in it. That's why I have 13, but not. So I believe
It
it's
is now presently a 19.
Yeah. Yeah, 19 would be enough. And actually, Tobiyashi, your passive insight would also be enough to. He's purposefully holding back something. You know, he's tall and slender, but you recognize the body language of someone who is purposefully avoiding a specific word.
Did he lip it? Did he make any signs of what the first letter started with his mouth?
No.
Since I could read lips.
You recognize the fidgety feeling of someone purposefully trying to avoid a word by giving you descriptions that answer your question, but also that's avoiding something that he feels or he knows that it's not proper for the situation. There's something he doesn't want to betray.
Can try to. Let's see. What do I want to ask him though? I will. I'll grab him by the shoulder, like just place my hand on his shoulder.
Okay.
And I'll ask him, who exactly went in there?
I told you, it's a tall, slender figure. Again, you had this moment of there's a word missing in there.
No other descriptions? Nothing else you could tell me? Name? Race?
I
Is it a unit?
I think had horns.
A tiefling?
Thing.
Ah,
Are the tieflings kind of like the upper class of this place?
Mm,
Or they're like,
Not upper class, simply more prominent here than in other places in the world.
okay.
But since they do have very often ties with criminal organization, especially in a place like this, they would tend to feel a little bit more wealthy than the average person. Or at least it would be a very strong stereotype in here. You know, of course he's wearing fancy clothes, you know? They're all alike. Kind of stereotype.
okay, I didn't have to roll the inside check then.
So one you recognize?
Are you asking the kid that question or Tobiyashi?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was asking the kid.
Anyone I recognize? I'm not sure. Again, Tobiyashi and Remy, you get this moment of he's trying to avoid something again.
maybe just like slowly extends the tongue from his beak and inches it.
He recoils a little
closer
bit.
and he puts it like somewhat closer and closer to the remaining part of the truffle.
No. You don't have to get mean. You know, I've might have seen this person from time to time coming here. You know, I've never talked to this person before. I've been answering a lot of questions. Can I have the other half? Usually those things they're, you know, you do one thing, I do one thing, but it feels like you're doing a lot and I'm not getting a lot. And he sort of just licks his lips a little bit with his eyes just focusing straight on the remaining half of that truffle that you gave him.
As long as you do more.
Can I have more then? Just one?
Remy, give him the chocolate.
Just extends his other arm toward the child.
Snatches it and... Oh, wow. Do you make it yourself or the... You know, I'm just asking. Not like I'm gonna follow you and see if your shop is secure. I'm just asking out of curiosity.
Just in like a very, I'm going to call like a hearty woman's voice. It's like, "Oh, sweetheart, that's my home cooking."
Interesting. Okay. I've never seen you around. Are you travelers or Are you setting up your house here?
I didn't realize you had chocolate for us.
You asked me a lot of questions. You owe me a lot of bits of chocolates.
I think we're setting the terms here.
No.
Okay, don't want any more chocolate, then that's cool.
Well,
This is when audience raises his stick and we go to the other way. We tried the carrot. It's time for
I'll
the
put
stick.
an arm across audience. Like, not yet.
We are in a dark alley, you know. Maybe.
I'll just be like, see that guy over there? That's my grandpa. He gets a little cranky when we don't get the right information.
Guys, we're not going to threaten a kid.
Yeah,
I'm not. It's my grandfather.
Gramps isn't going to threaten a kid either.
I look over at Gramps.
It's just whether or not the kid wants the food or not. Because, I mean, he looked awfully hungry.
I mean, we could get you more food.
Stop offering stuff.
I mean, he has to tell us what we want to know if he wants the food.
Just what kind of food do you have?
I don't know. What do you guys eat?
He looks at you for a moment. Yeah, I can understand how that can be confusing for you. Well, whatever the other four eat. Although I'm not sure I want to eat the same thing as him, and he points toward Remy. I feel like he's the kind of person that gets his meal when it's raining, so I'm not no.
Should probably with good berries.
Flash cut to Terry in the box.
Terry just goes.
Honestly, I just kind of want to go to the library. I don't really care what the kid has to say.
Well, I mean,
We know there's a tiefling that goes in there. I don't think he's going to know too much more.
he knows who it is.
I didn't say anything like that. Tobiashi and Remy.
I want to
you know-
roll. I would like to.
He's not
You don't
that
have
good.
to. He told
Tobiashi
you,
and
you
Remy,
know-
you know
he
that
knows who it is.
you know he's lying.
Okay.
Well, he's technically saying the truth. He didn't say that, but he's purposefully hiding the rest.
All right. Well. Bye then.
What about all the food you owe me? I answered a lot of questions.
You answered the
And we
question
gave
for
you
getting
some
the
very
truffle.
good food.
So, if you want to give us some more answers, we might give you some more food. But other than that, our business is done here.
Can I see what the food's gonna be?
I'll let you know what the food is after you tell us what we need to know.
That's not how they do it in the market.
We're not in the market right now, are we?
Remy, give him another chocolate to have him keep quiet about us, and then we're leaving.
I
I'm gonna whisper that
like
to
your
her.
grandpa. And he opens his hand expectantly.
Oh, I wasn't. Oh, no, I didn't say that. I whispered that to Remy. I didn't. I'm like some of you guys. I'll just offer stuff in the open.
What? Who does that?
Just a flick of the wrist, flap of the sleeve. A truffle appears, ready to leave.
Audience will take care of this. I'll kind of grab the kid. I'll be like, listen, you know how you told us about who went inside? We don't want others finding that we're about to go into library. So here's another chocolate to keep your mouth shut. If I find out that you've told anyone, though, we have rougher means. And I'll grip my stick a little bit tighter.
There's, well,
I can roll intimidation if you want.
that's not intimidation that I that I
Okay.
want to know. I'm wondering just how insightful audience is in the reaction of the kid.
Do you want me to roll insight?
If it's something that audience would be paying attention to right now as he's intimidating the kid, yeah, you can.
No, not really. I just feel like, is the kid gonna take it or not take it?
He has a moment of hesitation. And he looks at you and he looks Tobiyashi and Remy, because you have so high passive insight, you have a moment where you recognize that he's looking at Jorg and Tobiyashi for a moment. Just going, Okay. He takes it. He's doing this. You get the feeling that he's accepting this because he's hungry. But there's something that he doesn't want you finding in there. You have this moment of, you see it in his eyes and the way that he's moving. He doesn't like the idea too much of you going inside. But he's really hungry, so he takes the chocolate from audiences and, okay.
Alright, let's go, guys.
And he's eating the chocolate very slowly while he keeps glancing at Jorg and Tobiyashi.
Is there something you want to say?
No, he's slowly moving away, but he has that moment of he's moving away and you see him just go as he's moving away. And he just keeps glancing at Jorg and Tobiyashi as he's moving away.
What a weirdo.
Got that right.
Well, that could have gone
Oh, wait, no. Did we wash our faces off
From what?
when Fisher's robot is
It's been a day, Usually you wash yourself at least once a day, but you never know.
I couldn't
Adventurers.
remember if that was that
Does
morning or
Jorg
not.
wash himself once a day? I'm not sure about that.
He
That's one of those things that's taken care of off screen. Because nobody cares.
he does something. He's definitely cleaner.
Yeah, he uses bleach to clean his face.
Hmm.
All right. So are we heading into the library?
Yeah.
All right.
So you start walking toward the library, and there's the front wall covers from one side to the next of the wall in front of you. There is a watchtower just above you. You get the feeling that it looks a little bit abandoned. Might have once been on the outside wall, but when they constructed a new wall, it found itself inside, and so it's mostly abandoned. It looks abandoned anyway. The front of the library stretches from that watchtower to the wall on the other side, so it's you get a feeling if the building is deep enough to reach the wall, it's actually a very large building. And deep, so there's a good chance of finding a whole lot of things in there. The front door, although looking like it's still functional, looks mostly abandoned. not a lot of people go in there. And as a matter of fact, when you arrive, do you go to the door and try to open it? Or do you want to do something else before?
I don't want to go in the front door.
Okay.
Is there another door?
Because the front of this library goes from one exterior wall to the other exterior wall, there's the front door. There are several windows, but there's not a second door that you see that you can reach.
Ah. Okay. Remy, we good? As I look out behind us to see if there's anybody else watching.
Actually, yeah, I was about to say, like, Raimi is going to look out real quick before he tries something.
Perception roll if you want to look around. If you want to see if people are watching. If you want to find something, investigation.
But, I think he's like more focused on like seeing if like people are watching them.
Okay. You look around. Although you get the same vibe as walking in a very the underbelly of a city, and so you get a feeling that there are always eyes watching you from somewhere. Nothing feels menacing for now, but it does feel like something else is watching. And actually, you feel like something is watching from the houses and abandoned shop from where you are, but you also feel like something is watching you from the library.
The hills have eyes, and so do the walls.
Well, shit.
I like neither of those statements.
Our story is that we're looking for a disease for a cure for my leprosy.
We're looking for a new disease for Grandpa to acquire.
We're looking for a cure for my leprosy. We've heard that the library might contain information on a cure for leprosy. That's our story if we get caught. I'll whisper to the party.
Alright, sounds good.
So, front door it is?
It's the only entrance.
Should we send Jorg's dog in first? No,
You're the one with leprosy. So maybe
What? That's
you
not.
and Tope.
Fuck this. Okay, I will walk up to the
I'm
door
not going in.
and slowly open it. Y'all suck.
But I didn't do anything. I came up with a plan of what our excuse was going to
Sorry,
be.
you weren't part of that.
I'm sorry, I was going to open the door, but just like I was waiting for Jorg, just like in case he had something to add, and then that was it. Just like what?
You wanted to send my dog in. I don't want to send my dog in.
He's being influenced by the kid.
Your dog can't die.
True. That is true.
Do you see how I use our tree
But
as a body shield?
Yeah,
you gotta
but-
get more into the.
Also, if we send
more
the
into
dog in,
sacrificing
like,
NPCs.
it would be kind of weird if just a random dog showed up.
No, it's fine. Anyway, I'm gonna stumble
let's
in
go.
after Fisher because Fisher is apparently my handler for leading Grandpa around.
Alright, well, probably Remy is gonna be the one who gets the first go at this door, because when Fisher arrives and tries to open the door, it's locked.
Someone should probably stop audience before he starts knocking on it.
Remy,
We see
that'll
audience
help.
pulling up his stick.
No, Grandpa.
Dude.
No, Grandpa.
Maybe just like a quickly, just starts like searching for the nearest pick.
This is the most stressful lockpicking situation you've ever had. Audience is coming!
It's like no.
I need my cure, Sonny. No door's gonna stop me.
All right, that's a 25.
Alright. The door blows up. No. You forgot to check for traps. No. You wiggle the lockpick a little inside and... Aw. Well, that's disappointing. You were expecting a more complex lock. Alright, well, that's just... There you go.
That's the reason why he was able to do it as quickly before audience started knocking on it. Just like quickly opens the door.
The door opens in a very audible... And it echoes inside of this place. You even hear the echo coming back. For a moment, it feels even louder, but then you realize, oh no, okay, no, it's not louder. It's just the same and then slowly fading. The place feels nearly abandoned. But oddly well kept for something that's abandoned. There are a few scraps of paper laying around. Maybe a few cobwebs. Normal cobwebs. Not giant spider cobweb. But you would expect some books to be on the floor, or maybe a bookcase that had fallen from disrepair, just broken down. But especially when the building looks disabandoned. But no, actually, the carpet looks a little bit ragged, but the bookshelves seems to be holding, as if they'd been maintained. There's a large reception area where you are, completely abandoned.
Honestly, I think once everybody is inside, Raimi is going to close the door. And if it has a lock on this side, lock it.
Yeah, easy enough to do. You turn around, you close the door, and just as you're about to lock it, you notice that there is a small piece of paper tied to the handle from inside, and on that piece of paper it's written, "Don't forget to lock the door."
Well, that tells Raimi a few things as he proceeds to lock the door.
Locks well normally, okay. Although you've rarely used your lockpick to lock a door, it works.
Like, usually I get to skip this step.
Should we split up to gather more information, or should we stay as a group?
We should stay as a group.
I start walking away.
Apparently
No.
we're following Toby.
Yeah.
So does this look like a regular library?
In the sense that it has a lot of books, it has shelves with the books on it. You think you can see a place where maybe people used to do research there, tables, but everything else feels like an abandoned building. A lot of books, a lot of dust, cobwebs, no light.
Okay. And so at the monastery I'm guessing we'd have a library and stuff like that, like a big one or a nice sized one.
Yeah.
Does it look to resemble that in any way? Is it alphabetized? Alphabetized?
So you take a few books to see if they match up with what you know. Is that it?
Yes.
All right. So
Yeah, I would also like to try and determine what the sorting system is.
all right. So
Audience would like to stealth.
roll for stealth.
Audience stealthing? What?
So
If he's doing it, I'll do it.
That's a 17.
wow.
Oh my, that's a high
Why,
bar.
wow. I got
I
plus 3. I
got
got
a nat
plus 3 in advantage.
I know, but it's still the best roll I think you've had in a long time.
Mhm.
I also don't make sound.
So
Oh yeah, your boots are pretty handy.
Yeah, I don't make sound.
so
I rolled a nat 1, so I make lots of sound.
Good. They'll attack Jorg first.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So basically what happens is that you see Tobiyashi moving forward first, then audience says, "Oh, I'm going to be discreet about this," and then he just starts walking so softly and slowly. Then Jorg looks at the audience. Wow, he's good. I'm going to do the same thing. He turns around and wham! Ran inside on a bookshelf. Books fall
A
on
bunch
the
of
other
books fall?
side. No, it's not a movie. They're not this fragile. They are usually bolted to the floor in some way. But books
Jorg
fall on the
immediately
other
just
side.
trips and face plants.
Books do
Curiously,
fall.
one book is still somehow on the shelf, and that's when we realize that's the switch to the secret entrance.
Good job, Jorg. You found it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I did that on purpose.
This is why your lips is bleeding, huh? Yeah, on purpose.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I gotta make it look real.
How
So,
dare you make him bleed his own blood?
the order in which you're moving in this, it's Tobiyashi or audience first? As your group is progressing.
I
I
mean,
walked
I'm
away first, so
All right, so
I'm trying to peruse the books. I'm not just walking by
Okay.
the books. We're trying to find information.
all right then. So it does look like it's been fairly well maintained. Books look in subject and then alphabetical order. Initial section looks about the recent history of the process that you're in, the city that you're in. Perception, that would be Remy and okay. Remy, Tobiyashi, and Jorg. You get this odd chill of something moving in the library that's not a member of your group.
I'll look to Fisher and say, obviously we know someone's here. I'll look over to Fisher and say, there's someone moving around here.
All right.
Do you think they're in league with the wizard, or are they?
We won't know until they come out.
True.
You know where they are?
No.
Okay, then
You-
let's keep going.
I'm gonna take the book of the history of this place with us.
One book.
Oh,
of
I'm
the
also.
history.
I also have
Yeah, one
handed.
book.
I also have handed Jory back his staff for this part
Okay.
because I'm.
Can I? Oh yeah, I figured
I've
you would have given me that.
Taken my sword back from audience.
Yes, I would also hand you your sword. I would unload myself from all the weapons I'm carrying of other people.
Bag.
Here's your weapon. Here's your weapon.
Can I roll a perception check and use my dog to help see if we can find that guy?
Yeah, sure.
Smell them out.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that was not a nat 1. Okay, but a 24. The first one landed on the 19, and then the die just kind of tipped up a little bit onto its side, onto the corner, and then that counted as a nat 1. But since I had advantage, I had a 24.
All right. So, you have this moment of, I think I have something. Then your dog starts moving in a direction. He looks at you and he sees something. Does anyone react to Jorg apparently being slightly excited, but his dog even more excited about finding something?
I would stealth after the dog.
Okay.
I'll follow the bloodhound. It's not actually a bloodhound, but I'll follow the one with scent.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's basically Jorg, audience, Tobiyashi, Remy,
I'm
and
going.
Fisher, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. So you're quietly following. Get a Goonies vibe on this.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
quietly
Scooby-Doo,
following.
sure.
I don't know about. I don't know if George
Scooby-Doo.
quietly following.
Can I re-roll stealth? Has it been long enough?
No, actually, it's all part of the huge same thing. So
All right.
let's
So
just say
it's
you're really giving out your position by ramming.
You
this
guys go into other aisles of the bookstore.
Oh,
or
I'm not
the
anywhere.
library?
I'm not anywhere near.
Okay,
you.
good.
I see how bad you are.
Yeah, I figured
not
you'd
here.
be able to tell.
Everyone's 20
I'll be the
feet behind
distraction.
Jorg.
Yes, everyone can tell you rolled a nat 1. You are literally stomping through this.
You turn around
Every-
and instead of walking over your book, you just are dragging your feet and you see all the books just sliding in every direction as your feet are just pushing them away. But you look at everyone and my dog smells something. And you start moving in a direction. And just as you're arriving near the edge of one of these large bookshelves, especially you, Remy, you have this tingly sensation of, oh, there's someone there. There's someone. I know there's someone there. And you recognize the footstep of someone also trying to be stealthy. Do you warn Jorg?
Nah, let him get stabbed. He deserves it. No.
Maybe that's out a whistle sound.
Freeze.
I guess I'll stealth at this moment.
Okay. Roll for your stealth.
Wasn't that good. 18. 12 plus 6.
All right. Remember that Jorg has rolled a natural 1, so it's
If you're near me,
Yeah, no,
So
no.
he's just there, and then just about to arrive, and then Remy's warning, just and you move forward so you can see just on the other side of the bookshelf, and this is where you realize that one of the books of this shelf seems to just pop out, and Remy, this is when you realize, oh no, how did I miss that? Part of the bookshelf was actually an illusion, and there's someone behind it, and you just see the book slams in Jorg's face.
ooh,
Someone literally just wham slammed you with the book.
Roll for initiative against Book Wielder.
And you,
What really makes the situation weird is that they hit it with the penal code.
I shoot out my silks to grapple.
and actually,
Yeah, I was gonna try a
Yeah.
grapple.
I want to try to grapple his mouth. Well, did we see him, or
actually,
did he just get slapped?
the book hurts quite a lot because it's actually a critical hit with the book, and the
Ow.
book
My
has
God.
metal parts on it. It's a very sturdy book made
George's
to
getting
resist
one
the
shot by the
ages.
book. You see George just collapse.
I'm just down
knocked out
already.
cold.
So you get slammed by this book in your face. It's critical. Does it mean it's 9 points of bludgeoning damage
Oh my
as this
God.
person just
Ow.
slams your face, and as you have this moment of oh, you see as the blood starts pouring on your nose.
I was like, oh!
That definitely broke your nose.
You hear the
Mine.
voice of something that Remy would probably. Oh, why didn't I understand this? Because you know the reaction of audience. You hear a woman's voice going, "I'm so sorry! I thought you were that Boonies kid again! Oh, I'm so sorry! Are you alright?" And you see
Well, now
this.
audience is grappling for a different reason.
You see
No,
this.
wait, I haven't said-
You see the.
Then,
You see this tiefling coming out of the illusion. It was a minor illusion, just protecting this place. Are you all right, sir?
I'm okay. That was quite a hit.
Well,
You
you
should be
were
proud.
trying to sneak up on me.
You were sneaking first.
Okay. You thought he was a what?
And wait, what did you think I was?
There's that kid. He keeps trying to sneak inside. He realized that sometime I get out with a different change of clothes, and he's been trying to get a sneak peek at me.
You were just gonna dome that kid.
Hey, I
She was gonna
mean,
kill that
yeah.
kid. She was
Yeah.
gonna kill that kid.
Audience
She has, like,
almost
five
killed
It is.
that
HP.
kid.
Don't honestly. Yeah, it's pretty dangerous here. So I wouldn't do. You know,
That
I
kid
wouldn't
was
kill
dead.
him. But, like, yeah.
Isn't the average villager like
5
full?
HP? Yeah, like 4 or 5 HP.
That
An
kid
adult,
would've
an adult
straight
has
up
an
died.
adult has 8 hit points.
No, so the kid, she would have, and she didn't die, she could have honestly one-shot that kid with the book.
It was a critical hit. So you have this moment where the oddity of the moment subsides, and I'm pretty sure the audience in some way inside of them is laughing really hard right now. She's a tiefling. A very deep purple color. Horns a bit like the horns of a ram. But there is this charisma that comes out of her. Meaning she has a really high charisma stat. And judging from
Fair
the
enough.
book, which is extremely armored, well decorated, and imprinted on Jorg's forehead.
Yeah, you guys can read the title off of my forehead now.
Actually, it's a very beautiful book. There's now there's in the forehead of Jorg and on the book audience you see an image that might actually strike a chord with you.
Oh,
You recognize that image. It's a mountain with a sun rising over it. It feels
Oh,
like
shit.
it feels like a carved version of something you've seen in your dreams very often.
that's very cool. Audience is still, though, going to take the cautious route because we are in dangerous territory, and he is still going to try, as she's distracted by Jorg and hitting him, he's still going to try and kind of sneak to where he's standing behind her so she doesn't necessarily have an escape route. And then unstealth once he's behind her. I don't know if she noticed his audience sneaking behind her while she's distracted by hitting Jorg in the face. But
There's something that I'd say Tobiashi and Remy notice as they're looking at her because of their insane insight. There's something really odd with her eyes. Color is not right. Too bright.
Like yellow, green, purple?
Sort of a shimmering, halfway between
got it.
mauve and purple color.
I now have to look up what mauve color is again because I actually can't remember. Okay, that's what it is. Got
Okay.
it. It's a pale purple, by the way.
Okay.
If anyone was wondering.
Okay,
Yeah, I was
thank you.
wondering. I was about to look it up.
All right, what are you doing here?
She straightens up for a moment. Well, I mostly maintain this place, and I keep informing myself of everything about the world. I mean, what else are you supposed to do in a library?
So are you the library? So you're the librarian. Audience says now from behind her.
She doesn't act surprised in any way.
All right. fair enough.
I never thought about it like this. Especially since no one uses that term anymore, which tells me you're not from around here.
No, we're not.
Well, that's
I'm going
very
in on.
interesting.
I'm going in on trusting.
You're
this
going
one.
in.
That's very interesting. So where are you from?
Grandpa, you want to say where
I don't
we're
think
from?
we're there yet.
No, I'm going. We're not from this island. We're from like, what's the name of our island again?
It's Misty Island chain where you've been
Misty-
doing
yeah.
all of your adventure.
We're from the Misty Island chain.
I don't know that place. I mean, I've watched a lot of maps of the world, but there's a whole lot of island chains in the world. I'm not sure. Where is it exactly in the world? Is it high
It's
up
pretty-
north? Very down south?
No, it's pretty far from here. It's it's pretty south from here. South. What was it like? Southeast.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
What he said.
She's a librarian.
Yeah, and she sneaks around. I think we can.
And she has a high charisma. For audience,
And
it's
then-
mostly she has a high charisma.
She's a pretty girl. Leave audience alone. Audience trusts pretty girls.
If we ever have a woman villain, it is not gonna go well.
The main villain is a woman. I'm screwed.
Well, for audience, one of your villains is a woman. It's his rival.
That's technically true. And has it not screwed audience as he's tried to impress her and bring her into things? He almost got an entire city killed over it.
Yeah.
She's, like I said, she's very tall and also very slender, just like the kid was describing.
Fair enough. But please, before we continue, what's your name? What made me call you?
My name is Sachet.
Okay. Sorry, I had to update a list.
Oh my god.
Hold on, I have to as well.
Wow.
It's actually a word from an old language. It means keeper of library. At least that's what my father told me.
You
Fitting.
live here?
Technically no, but I spend enough time here to where you could say that I live here, yes.
Are people spooked by you because you're in the place of knowledge?
How do you feel about wizards?
Raimi, I almost feel like Raimi, in response to that, just like walks over and just like runs his hand through the illusory bookshelf that everyone has just casually forgotten about.
Yes, no, I tend to do this when I think there's someone sneaking around. It's very useful. How do I feel about wizard? Well, I certainly don't like the wizard living in the tower. but I can't
Good
say
enough
that
for
I've
me.
met a
Cool.
whole lot of
Want to
wizards.
help us steal from him?
The what? What did you say?
Do you know anything about trains? How they work?
Oh, a little bit.
All right, is there any place to sit? Because we have some things we need to ask. I'm just,
Yeah,
like,
no,
standing here.
sure. Give me a moment. Before we move on, she turns toward Remy and she makes a step backward, and you'd interpret this as someone needing to pee or protecting their crotch. Tell me you weren't raised in a zoo.
Damn,
I
Remy.
think that's insensitive.
Good thing she's already made Remy's lesson.
Damn.
She hadn't made the list.
rather
before, she
rude.
definitely has.
I'm
now.
looking above Remy.
We
at her,
didn't
I'm just
ask
like,
you if
I'm
you
just
were
like-
raised in hell.
just like
Well,
making the hand
you're
symbols to her,
being
just like
extremely. And Remy, there's probably something in that moment where he's like, oh, god damn it. Alright, she was asking a real question and Remy twisted her head off. Well, well, the horn usually gives it away, I guess. There's a sadness in the way that she answers this, as if it's something has been so used to hearing and so used to dealing with. Probably had her crying a whole lot in her youth, but she's learned to push that
Good
away.
job, Fisher. Nice job.
I'm
Fisher-
just saying.
Fisher.
I know you're kind, and she looks at you, Remy. And I know you tend to copy some behaviors. I know one who's been raised in a zoo, and I'd rather not have you another one like this.
Just like Remy just like looks at her and just shakes his head,
Good,
and
kind
kind
all
of
right.
like, but also kind of like just honestly, given the state of this place, kind of like gestures around himself.
No, it's not that I'm worried that you're gonna do something on the floor. Don't worry, that's not it. Maybe in another conversation. No, please come in. And she looks at you, Fisher, and I guess I don't have anywhere where we can recharge you. Sorry, I wasn't expecting visitors. Usually, we don't get any.
Wait,
That's-
what?
So
What do you
the
mean?
sentries never come in here.
No, audience, shut up. What do you mean recharge? Like a spot to recharge.
Yeah, I mean, isn't this how it works? I mean, eventually you do need to recharge, no?
I mean, like, daily, I, like, sit still for a bit.
Oh well,
But
if
it
that's
doesn't
all
need
you
to be in
need,
a spot.
that's all right. You can just pick one spot. Sorry, I asked. I mean,
Part of me just wanted Fisher to just like go to like look down at Terra, just like, hey, should I have been charging this whole time?
I should have been
What?
working at like 30%
I mean, that's
capacity this
kind of
entire
the
campaign.
reaction he's having. What do you mean is there normally a spot?
well,
To recharge?
I'm usually arcane constructions. You need to recharge their core at one point,
I could be useful.
unless you don't
Hey,
need this.
Terranad's my core been at low battery this whole time?
But you aren't constantly hearing that low battery notification.
More.
I hit snooze too many times. It turned itself off.
Pterodad just tells you, no, I think she doesn't understand that you're a sentient. She thinks you're just a machine that needs recharging. Oh, I really wish some of them would actually have a brain. You get the feeling he's talking about her, not you.
Mm-hmm. Wait, does that mean the fact that I'm sentient is why I don't need to recharge?
You're sentient. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean any disrespect.
I'm sorry. Do non-sentient constructs act like this normally?
I mean, some of them are pretty elaborate.
All right. Anyway,
I
yes,
feel like we're wasting time.
we are.
Let's go.
Yeah. So
All right,
we're
all
looking.
right. Yes, please move on further. It's usually better to stay away from the windows, especially if that kid is out there again. He's just keep getting attention over here. I don't like it. Please,
Yeah, so-
follow more deeper inside. There's actually a little place where I've made myself at home. And she drags you further inside of the library. And
As we walk in, I'm gonna be like, so I've dreamed about that symbol on that book.
really,
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone else had. I mean, I've never found it in any books, so I'm not really sure of everything about it.
Could I look through that book if you have a chance?
I'm not sure it's gonna let you. The book is sort of a bit stubborn.
Oh. Can I see if it will let me?
Well, you can try. She reluctantly lets you take the book.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I can open it. If it'll let me open it.
It sort of does. You know, you gently try to open it. You notice that there's a latch, and you manage to open it slightly. But when you open the page of the book, wow, that's impressive. I've never had anyone else open the book before. Can you actually read it?
I don't know. Is it draconic or no?
You don't recognize the inscription on it inside of the book. As a matter of fact, it's at first glance there doesn't seem to be anything written in the book, but when you watch it more carefully, you notice that the pages have oh goodness, I forgot what the word was in English. There are little bumps on the page.
Braille?
Rail.
Yeah. I guess for
I use
us
my
here-
blind sense.
I guess for us here it would be comparable to that, but they actually do form letters. It's as if the ink had been removed, but the indentation that the pen would leave has remained behind.
Can I take Raimi's hand and run it over the pages and then be like, remember this? And when we get back to the garden, we can show it to them and they can translate it. Or so you can copy down the bumps.
Well, she really does seem to feel uncomfortable about other people handling the book. And the moment you turn towards someone else, you notice that there is a reaction.
I'm gonna roll a persuasion to say it'll be fine. It's a
Will it? Maybe we should
21.
trust Her.
I rolled 21 on persuasion.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just be careful. It's valuable.
Trust me, it's valuable to me too. And then I'd take Remy's hand and be like, Remy, can you remember these indents?
Like, I think really the first question is because as you said, like there were like indentations, but like, is it actually like possible to see it even without the ink, or is it really just?
You'd need, if you want to do a perception roll, you can. You'd need to succeed this because it really is like the ink had been completely removed, and you're trying to read just by using your hands and going over it and recognizing the indentation left by the pen as it was, by the quill as it was writing down stuff in it.
Alternatively, could Raimi just pull out his magnifying glass to get a better look? That's more what I'm getting at initially, but if it's literally like impossible to see, then
it wouldn't help because well, it might help a little bit with your perception roll, but I'd lower the DC if you use your magnifying glass, but it's not gonna help a whole lot. Actually, we need to take our break. I'm just gonna wait for you to make that roll, and then we're gonna take our break after.
Oh, sorry, I'm just double checking something real quick.
Well, we can go to a break, and you can finish checking this out. All right, so we're gonna take our break. We're gonna be back in 15 minutes. You have a good chance to go empty your bladder and whatever else you need emptying, and we'll be back in 15 minutes. And as always, we can accompany the break with marsh sounds. See you in 15 minutes. Bye. Hello and welcome back. I hope you had a pleasant break and not a prison break.
And if you did, welcome back from prison. I hope you enjoyed your stay from there.
We're very touched that you would spend your short-lived freedom watching the internet, logging in to your account to make a donation for
with all that money that you still have.
The worst of it is that it actually is something that happened once. I believe it was a burglar who posted from his phone that he had just robbed the place. So they had proof, and they had the geolocation coordinate from his phone.
It was also a selfie. He made sure he got the right lighting to make sure his face really was illuminated by the backlight.
All right, so we go back in as Remy is about to roll his roll.
Also, I think just because it's for audience's sake, I think I'm just going to briefly abuse the power of my lantern here.
Quietly opens up his lantern just a little bit. The light comes in.
Okay, good. I don't know which one would have been which die would have been the first one, but with a 17 plus 9, 26.
26. All right.
The other die was a 9.
Would have been drastically lower, but so you have this moment of where you're just starting to watch this, and you're just about to touch the book, and then you drop your your magnifying it. Oh, take it back. So that was the low roll. Now you're going with the higher roll. Takes a moment. You just feel the page, and you notice the uneasiness in Shay's voice. Be very careful, please. I've never encountered another book similar to this one. It's quite resilient, but still.
Don't you want to know what's inside?
Oh, I can read it quite easily. Don't worry.
Oh, well, why are we?
Oh no, you're the one who grabbed Remy's hand and put it on there.
Honestly, I think Remy was
Remy
just
was
glad
just
to have that
happy, yeah,
audience
I
took
just-
his hand.
What can you? What can you
Like,
tell
like,
me when
like
it's
he's just
when it-
he's just like paying attention. He's like still paying attention, like doing the job. But just like, but I'm like the back of his mind is just like, ah.
Well, can you tell us what it says, or me, or somebody?
It's mostly spells.
Oh, it's spells, not like information or lore or.
Oh, well, I do take
I think you'd call it history.
I do take notes and I write them in there, but most of it are spells. And Remy, you can sort of testify to that. You recognize several cantrip spells and ritual spells. Actually,
Double, triple, quadruple confirmed.
I do take notes in it, especially when there is information that's very useful. But it's mostly spells.
Okay. That's fine. I'm gonna hand her back the book.
You notice that she feels visibly relax a little bit when you hand her back the book, and she closes it and clutches it a little bit like a little girl would hang on to a stuffed animal.
Are you a magician by chance, or like a mage? Is that like your spell book, or did you find this book?
I'm hearing music.
That was me.
I was
Sorry.
also hearing music.
Um,
I've only met one other person who had a book that he clutched like that. So, I'm just wondering, is that your spell book?
Well, it's a book that has spells, but I don't think it's in the way that you mean it. No, I don't have wizardy knowledge. I haven't been trained, but I do have a few abilities, and I don't know why, but well, I kind of know why, but it was sort of a bit of a surprise to me to see that I actually understand very well how ritual casting works. I mean, it's just easy to read. It's like reading poetry. And she has this sort of a nervous laugh as she's watching all of you while admitting that she can actually cast, although mostly ritual casting.
Well, what we were here for, we're trying to find some information on, like Fisher said, if you would have any books on trains or kind of like, we heard that there's a lot of undead in the surrounding area.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's why I'm always this careful, because last time that kid went inside, he sort of found a way from the sewer system, but he left a sewer entrance open, and actually had to deal with one of those undeads roaming around here. It actually took a few days to get him out of here.
Rainy makes a lock clicking sound.
Well, yeah, that's why I keep locking the door. You know, I think he realized that he still hasn't managed to pick the lock. And actually, don't tell anyone, but I found a book where there's an incantation, and I actually put a spell on the base of the on the front of the library, so that all the windows appeared 5 feet higher than they actually are. So he hasn't tried getting inside one of the windows.
Fair. Off of what Toby also said, any information, basically we're trying to figure out how to safely infiltrate the citadel at the center of the island. So anything that would help us there.
Wow. Okay.
Planning on
She proceeds to
fixing
chair
and
to take a
taking a
seat.
train.
Yeah, like I said, we might want to sit down for those.
And you're planning on doing this and coming out of it alive?
We have our own means of escape.
We're not coming back here.
Oh, okay.
We may have other ways off the island, if you know what we mean.
I actually don't. I've never heard of someone escaping the island in another way than just having themselves being judged by the barrier around the island.
Well, let's just say we have unique circumstances that we can leave the island if we can safely reach the top of the citadel.
And there's maybe another piece of information one of our colleagues might want to know. Weapons that use the mist to work.
That's you're gonna have to be more precise. A lot of things use the mist here.
Well, he kind of has like this gun. I mean, arcane crossbow.
Well, most arcane crossbow use the mist to recharge, so like I said, you're gonna have to be more precise. The lantern used the mist, the train used the mist, most of the arcane machines use the mist. They use it just to recharge. The enforcer, their little creature that they have with them, they just feed off the mist. This is why those that achieve awareness are so dangerous, because they just start learning to use their creature in a much more creative way.
So if we could get rid of the mist, the technology would break down.
That seems
Yeah,
likely.
We might need the train.
So it seems like a useless piece of information.
Yeah.
Do we know what the mist is? Do we
It's
care what the mist
It's
is?
the judge.
like a god.
Yeah.
It's
or
a
something.
god.
So
Yeah.
The shadow of a god.
Well,
No, sorry.
Actually, no. Well, no one really knows what the mist is. It just started to appear. I think the book said roughly 500 years after the colony was founded.
Oh, so it's not the judge.
It's not what?
The judge is not completely tied to the judge. It's a separate thing.
That would be my guess.
So there could be a way to remove the mist.
Well, yeah, but if you want to also remove every single convenience everyone have on the remaining 2 islands, and that's also taking into account what you'd have to do to remove the mist, which would imply a huge increase in mist for a while, and I don't know how long the walls would be able to last. You know, these prisons, they're made to hold people in, not the outside from coming in. I'm not sure how long we'd last a siege from outside. There's no war history here. There's a lot about criminality and organization and tyranny, but there's no war, so I don't know.
Well,
It feels like pretty aggressive move trying to remove the
No.
mist.
I don't think we're going to remove the mist. That was just
I told you he's getting senile.
What? Oh, am I still pretending to be a grandpa? I feel like she knows I'm not a grandpa. I feel like she knows I'm not an old man, Toby.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah, so if you could point us in or help us find books relating to trains, their repair and operation, security measures in the Citadel,
And the
a
prisons?
possible prisoner in the Citadel.
Godly David
And-
figure, to be more specific. Not like just a normal like dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a demigod or something, like a god.
The mother of constructs, that might be a key phrase to look at. I don't.
They have mothers?
I don't know. Ask Fisher.
You have a mother?
When a construct becomes fully sentient, they have a vision of a being.
I've heard about visions.
Asks for help. Yeah, that being's in the Citadel. Or at least that's what we
Really?
assume.
Oh, that's something that I could try and do research on. I mean, I have the whole place for myself, so kind of in a good place to do whatever research I want. Actually, I have a good understanding of where everything is in here. I've even rearranged the system a little bit. There were some inefficiencies in their way of placing the books, they
Aye.
qualified zombies as being creatures from another realm. I mean, that's a bit far-fetched.
Well, I think it would be good if we start
Specifically.
looking.
I mean, couldn't they technically be?
Well, the energy
You want to
used to
get into a
reanimate
philosophical
someone.
conversation?
The energy
Yeah,
used
sorry,
to.
off topic.
Oh, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I don't have a whole lot of people to talk to. I easily tend to be sidetracked when someone asks so many interesting and odd questions. Also, one thing that I can absolutely tell you right now is if you want to go to the spire, you are going to have someone on your side in every single station, each of the 3 stations. There are security measures now because, I think 2,000 years ago there was a major push trying to get inside of the tower, and they added security to it. So there's a confirmation going to each one of the stations now. This is why there haven't been a whole lot of people going there in the last few centuries, because the 3rd station is on Mid-Sal, and Mid-Sal is completely overrun with the undead.
So we need a friend.
Well, we
even
were
on
planning
that
on
one?
going there anyway.
Well, you'll need the confirmation, so you'll have to have someone on the station on Mid-Sal.
So, in order to...
It's a 3-man job, minimum.
to get a train to the spire,
Yeah.
so we need one in low cell, one in mid cell, and one in high cell.
Yeah, I mean, you probably be able to go where you need to, where you would start. So you could function as one, but you'll need at least 2 other person to receive and give confirmation that everything is fine and you can keep going on. You're gonna need at least 2 other friends.
And that would be from a station that is normally occupied, and we would have to
Well,
remove whoever was currently running it.
Well, by remove, if you mean making them unconscious and dragging them in a place where they would wake up at one point. Yes.
That would work, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we mean by remove.
Exactly.
Everyone just like slowly turning toward Tobiyashi.
What did I do? I can't take down one of these robots by myself.
It's not what you did, it's what you haven't done yet.
And whomever would be on those 2 other stations would it be coming with you. So it's really someone that you wouldn't mind leaving behind.
I mean, we have.
Mm-hmm. And this isn't something we could like prep in advance. This is when we go.
No,
it would need
every
to happen
every
then.
time a train tries to leave for the spire, a confirmation is asked on each of the station to be sure that the track is clear. And once you get to the first point, all tracks are turned off. So you absolutely have to keep on going forward, and no one else can come in after you.
Couldn't we sneak onto a train that was already going?
There
And then we
hasn't
wouldn't
been
need
a
the
train.
confirmation.
There hasn't been a train directly going to the Spire for at least 200 years.
That sounds like we'll get caught, even trying to attempt it, since nobody's been going there.
Well, they're
Not like
still
a-
manning the station on low and high south, so
Well, what I mean is, like, we would maybe the Spire would get notified if there was a train coming, even if it didn't get there all the
Well,
way in one go.
that's what I mean by you're gonna have to have friends in each of the stations, because they're gonna receive the signal for confirmation, and if you don't know the person that's there, they're gonna ask for validation. But if you know the person that's there, or if you have someone that you know there to give the okay, then there won't be a need to ask for validation.
This became more complicated.
What if we just took a boat?
I don't think that works.
I mean, you'd be very brave.
I assume there is security that would prevent a boat from reaching the spire.
Well, not direct security, but yes, there's, you said you came here from far away, so I'm guessing you know what lives in the sea? These huge sea serpent?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Well, guess what? The breeding pool for these serpent is here.
Oh.
What's
Yeah, we're not taking a boat. Yeah, we're not taking a boat, boys.
yeah?
Boat is I'm actually not going near the water anymore.
One more thing. One more thing. So the train tracks. Can you just walk across them?
I mean, yes. If you have a couple of weeks.
I mean, we don't have a time limit to be here.
What if you... How fast do the trains move normally?
Oh, it depends on the
10.
trains, but the train's going above, on top of the bridge on the water, anywhere between 20 to 30 miles an hour.
What if we flew? Then that would be about the same speed as a train. How much air security do they have for just flying across the rails?
Well, let's just put it like this. They don't have a problem with mist crows.
I think we should still try and use the train.
I agree. I guess we're gonna have to somehow figure out a way to infiltrate mid-low. It sounds like we can just put our own person, because you said so. Mid-low is not manned right now.
Mid-sal.
Mid-sal, not mid-low.
Mid-low
Mid-sal.
The water between high,
Yeah.
low, and mid.
Mid-sal station is not manned right now, so we could just, as long as we can get someone there and have them survive the undead, we can.
Yes, probably. It's probably a good way you could try and get in, and If you have someone that can repair trains, I'm pretty sure there's still at least one locomotive in there that you could use if you can refit it. So it could be an interesting place to start. Anywhere else, you'd have to steal a locomotive to get there.
Fair. So the plan might be to try and get to Mid Sal, and then we'd really just have to have a friend infiltrate High Sal and see if we can.
And you need one here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What if we're starting from Mid Sal? Do we need one here?
Well, you can only take the train from a single place.
Oh. Okay.
Shit.
I don't.
Do you know any contacts who are? You said you don't like the wizard very much. Do you have anyone that works in the train station here that doesn't like the wizard that might be willing to help us?
Hmm.
Well, I haven't talked to the leader of the Lollipop Guild for some time. But...
I don't know. I don't get out all that much. And although it would be interesting to see the world outside a little bit, from something else than the perspective of a book, I'm not really sure how.
Back to square one.
Well, I mean, you'd still need one friend, but I think someone might be able to help you on High Sal. And she looks at Remy and says, he's a bit of an odd one.
Do you have a way for us to contact him? Or would you have a way for us to contact him?
Better yet, can you introduce us?
I mean, she'd have to come with us.
Well, I can warn him that we're coming, but probably it would be better if I'm there. I haven't been on High Sal in quite a few years. But it would be interesting to take the train again.
All right, you're part of the team.
What?
Thank you for volunteering. We appreciate your hard work and the effort you'll put into this.
It'll be fun to take a train again, like you said.
Can Cuddles come?
Who's that?
She points towards something.
I mean, if you want
behind
to
her.
cuddle, no.
That's what I thought she was
Cuddles
saying.
are always welcome. No. Anyway, sorry.
She points at something behind her, and resting on the shelves, you see. It looks like a string puppet that you would have cut the strings. Looks a bit odd in your direction. It has a bit of a creepy smile.
Is it alive?
Yeah, so it's like
The
a
puppet.
marionette that doesn't have any strings.
Yeah. And when you look at it,
Oh, that's horrifying.
it gives you the same feeling as when you look at the handkerchief of murderous intention. It feels like this thing has intentions.
That's even scarier. This thing's got limbs.
Well, I knew that she was unhinged in some area. You can't just be normal on this island.
It's Cuddles friendly.
Well, let's just say that he reacts more to how people are than simply is something.
Okay. Would he cause a scene if we brought him with us?
Depends on you. Hear what I mean. Get closer, everyone.
Okay.
I skeptically walk up.
She drags you toward a table, and everyone look at the table.
Okay.
Right.
Everyone.
I look.
Does everyone look at the table?
I'm looking at the
In
table.
the opposite direction.
Rel, my dog,
Cuddles.
is looking at
There's an odd static in my ear.
There's
is that?
static.
In my mic?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was.
Okay,
There you
it's
go.
gone
Oh, I
now.
thought that was. I thought you were
Is that
saying
it?
there's an odd
Yeah.
static.
Yeah, it
like,
was. You're right.
As we look at the table, there's an odd
No, no,
static,
no.
and you added that as
So-
a sound effect. But no.
Everyone there looks, even the dog, and then she'll, now, look at the puppet.
Okay, I look at the
Look
at the
puppet.
The puppet's gone.
Look at him.
Ah.
Oh.
Fuck this.
Oh no.
And then
Ah.
she looks at all of you and says, now look at the table.
Okay, I look at the table.
The puppet's on the table.
Okay, I'm
Does he
not
have to come
sure if this is cause like. Well, can we rely on the puppet to not just teleport around?
Oh no, he
while we're
doesn't
trying to do
teleport.
this?
He only moves when you're not watching.
I have a pin that could go exactly with this puppet.
Does the puppet mean us any harm? Like, if I turn my back to the puppet for long enough, is it gonna jump on me?
Depends on what you're trying to do.
This isn't giving me a lot of assurance that we should bring Cuddles.
Does the
with us.
puppet have to come?
Well, I feel a whole lot safer if Cuddles comes.
Okay, is Cuddles tied? Like, will Cuddles try and protect you?
Well, so far he's only been doing things to prevent me from being harmed.
Okay, I'm more okay with that. As long as he doesn't see us as a threat.
At any point, did any of you stop watching the puppet on the table as audiences?
Hell no.
No,
I
definitely
never
not.
could do
I,
it.
Looking
No.
away.
Absolutely not.
This is just Annie from League.
Okay, I'll be like, hey, Cuddles, I'm audience. I'm a friend. I don't know if you know what that means.
He just friend zoned himself.
I don't. Yes, I will perfectly fine friend zoning myself with the puppet.
Oh, come on.
I-
I don't want that image in my mind right now.
I mean this lovely young lady no harm. Friends. We can trust you, right? You're not gonna jump on me?
You have this odd moment where you're looking at the puppet and you're pretty sure you're looking at it pretty intently, hoping for an answer. And this odd thing happens when, for some reason, everyone blinks at the same time. And when you blinking ends, its smile has changed. It's looking at you in a way that you would qualify it as uncomfortably creepy.
I'm not sure that's giving me confidence that it's not gonna jump on me.
I'd just like to clarify, I don't blink, but I'll allow it.
You had this moment where you were looking at the puppet, and because audience talked,
Terraned said, "What's that?" And I had to look somewhere else.
I'm like, what was that?
Okay. You know what, Cuddles? I guess I'm gonna have to give you the benefit of the doubt. Which I don't love to do, but we're gonna have to if we want our friend to come along. So,
oh, good. And he's happy about it.
I'm glad he's happy.
No,
And that's all I want him to be, happy.
he's very happy about it. Here, I'll even show you. Look there.
We don't need that.
Audience
We'll take your
does.
word for
I'll
it.
look away.
Does everyone look away when she says this?
Yeah, fine.
All right, and then look at him.
Okay.
He has a big smile on his face.
Nah, that's just worse.
Alright, Cuddles. Love you too, man.
We should probably
You know,
look around for the info.
you know one thing that every kids absolutely love, and this is one way that I keep the kids away. She goes behind Cuddles and she just takes her hand and slides it in front of Cuddles' face, and every time she does, because you lose sight of the face, there's a different face. There's one that's looking at you like this, and then she goes up again and looking at you like this. Everyone
Hey.
just loves it, doesn't it, Cuddles?
You know what they say, crazy bitches are the best in bed. Anyway,
Anyways, we should probably look for information around here before we do anything. Whatever we could find on the questions that we asked, you know.
Well, yeah, sure. You have a whole lot. Good thing she doesn't appear to be able to read in audience's mind. Well, my library is your library. Well, technically it's not my library, it's the wizard's library, but he hasn't been using it for... Well, actually, I haven't read anything about him ever visiting this library, but technically it's his, so...
okay. Well, we'll be sure not to cause a disturbance.
I don't think he minds.
Alright.
All right.
We're gonna go
Can you
try
point
and
us?
find...
Where to look?
Well, what are you looking for exactly? I know you
I
want...
think we should split up. I think Fisher, you should go look at trains. Maybe someone can go help you look at trains. I think two of us should go and look at maybe information on any prisoner being held in the spire, and another two people should go look at any weaknesses or like how to get into the spire. The
They
spire.
might hold that kind of information here.
I mean, she said that.
Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
So I'd just say we should split like 2 and 2, because I feel more safe splitting up. Now.
Don't
All right,
worry,
well,
Mr. Cuddles is gonna help you stay safe while you're in here.
I'm glad.
Well, Jorg, let's go look for weaknesses and maybe some plant stuff for you.
Okay.
He enjoys watching over the people when they're inside the library.
Who else besides Fisher would know the most about trains? Who should be someone with Fisher? Who would know about train stuff?
Taranad.
Her? She would know about trains a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, maybe her, and then me and Remy can go look at like the deity prisoner stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm really good at religion.
Or well, I thought you were going with George Toby.
I was gonna go. Well, I mean, from a religion standpoint, I could go help with the deity stuff, but that's pretty much just prison things. We're not looking at like specific powers or like what they do.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to find any information that might exist.
All
All right,
so
yeah. You and Remy.
Fisher is
Fisher
looking
and
for
her.
train, Tobiashi for the
Weaknesses
light
and
entity?
plants.
Oh, okay.
No. Me and Jorg are looking for weaknesses in the Citadel and
It's the Spire.
the
It's
Spire.
not- yeah. I realized I said the Citadel.
Yeah,
too.
Sam said it once, and now we're all.
Yeah, now
That's
we're
what it's
all in the
called.
Citadel. Yeah, it's a Citadel now. It's canon.
That's my bad.
And maybe some plant stuff for Jorg. See if there's any certain kinds of weird
Yeah.
plants on the island.
Look for like weird recipes.
They
or
are
something.
all deadly.
And
That's good.
they're going to turn you into undead. Okay. All right. So that's Jorg and Tobiashi. What about audience and Remy?
We're going to go look about any prisoners, high important prisoners that the magician might be holding, and if any of them speak about a potential like deity, or like mother of construct. I don't know.
It's a
Any
deity,
information.
baby.
Yeah.
Mother
Yeah.
of
Anything that
constructs.
mentions the dream that constructs.
Okay. And
Yeah.
audience and Remy is going to be about the dream.
I know what you meant, and technically it works, but just like when he called him the magician, it's just like
The magician.
Like, now for my next trick, I'll make this whole island chain disappear.
To be fair, that's kind of how audience thinks about wizards.
Yeah.
They're
It's
all
not a completely inaccurate statement. It's just like they're these turkey little bastards.
Okay.
I mean, giving audience at least partial credit, like you could very easily describe Raimi as a magician in like both senses.
You know, Remy and Fisher together make 2/3 of a magician. So, all right. No, that's right. Fisher now has a 1 level in wizard, so he's technically a
Yeah.
beginner magician.
What?
Whoa.
So now they're 1 1/3 of a wizard.
Yeah.
All right. And do you want Sichet to look for something?
Yeah, I think she was going with Fisher because she lives on this, so she knows the most
Okay.
about trains. I can help him with trains.
All right. In that case,
He likes trains.
What do you guys? I mean, Ramy's really good at looking for stuff, so yeah, that's probably good. Because I was thinking, like, trains are cool and important, but yeah, no, never mind. She can come help me with trains.
Trains are cool.
That
I
also
have a
means
plan.
probably Cuddles will be the nearest to you. You can have Cuddles watching.
Never mind. Go somewhere else.
Actually, they should switch Remy with her, and so audience can have some.
I don't think Remy's gonna allow that.
Yeah, probably not.
Like, Remy has been given multiple reasons to not have those two alone together. But for, like, different reasons for those, like, but, like, very polarizing reasons.
And there's Cuddles.
All right, let's get this started.
Yeah. All right. So I will say, since you are divided in teams of 2, one of you can helm the research and roll for investigation with
Remy,
advantage.
that's you. I'm giving you advantage.
What's your
Oh,
investigation?
well, you don't want to roll
George?
investigation, buddy?
No, that's all you, man. You got this.
George, what's your investigation?
My investigation is +0.
All right, I'll roll then.
Can I give you help action?
Well, yeah, we have advantage
Okay,
since we're
cool.
in teams of 2.
Fuck me. Okay, I'm gonna use the coin.
You could let her do it. She probably has really high investigation.
I already rolled with advantage.
Oh.
Also, she was charismatic, not wizardy. Remember?
Yeah, but she's also
Um,
a librarian, so I assume she would.
All right, so I got an
It lowers
18
the
plus
DC.
1. I got a 19.
All right. 19 for you. Remy.
19.
That's Tobiyashi. I mean, Remy. What did you roll?
23.
23. And Fisher?
I also got a 23.
Nice. So the reason why you use your coin is because Cuddles is really throwing you off.
Is he following us?
Not all the time, but
God, that's worse.
you know, there's
You
this.
just look behind you, it's a bookshelf. He's like,
Yeah. Because if you can only see him sometimes, that's like, I don't really know if that's because he's not there all the time or if because he's just, I can't see him currently.
Yeah, it's just like,
Works.
you're not. Like, the issue is just like, it's the times when you can't see him because there are times you don't know where he is.
You know, there's this one time where you actually see Cuddles, who is there in on one of the bookshelf, and he has. Well, he's a puppet, so he's actually a bit, you know, like strings puppet. So he's at least a feet tall. So you see him with very short shearers in his hand, just looking at you. Then you have this moment of, oh God, no. You look away, and when you look at him again, you see him, he has 1 foot on one side of the shearer, and his hand are on the other handle. Then you lose sight of him, but 20 minutes later, you take a book, and you see him putting, well, he's not doing this, but you see him having the 2 shearers, the 2 part of the shearers, on his back like 2 swords, just holding them like this and looking at you. He just
I was
made-
gonna take Terry out to like read books and stuff with me, but that's not happening anymore. There is a serial killer on the loose.
You know, I cannot but wonder, like, what that entry in his journal would be like.
Oh yeah, right.
I met a very strange creature today. You do have a moment where Sachet is going to ask you, why do you have so many magical objects in your backpack, especially this huge box-shaped thing? You don't remember her taking it out of the bag.
She's holding it.
No, she's asking you why you have such a large
Oh.
box that's
Okay. I was
radiating
like,
so
wait,
much
what?
magic inside of your backpack.
I'm carrying something for a friend of mine.
You have friends living on the island?
No.
Then why did you have it with you on the island?
Well, because they're here on the island also.
Has your speech pattern been properly
I'm being
spelled?
intentionally vague.
Right. Okay, well, that's okay. You know, if you have your secrets, that's fine, that's fine.
It will not be a danger to you or anyone else. How's that?
Well, coming from a person that I met today, I mean, it might have more impact in a few weeks, but now, I mean... So, you wanted a book with trains in it. Here you go.
Yeah.
Pulls out a
Don't worry, guys. I'm really getting her on our side.
Yeah, it's a kid. I was thinking it's a kid's book. It's
The train is blue and has a face.
Tomas.
That was a nice thing I did, Thomas said to himself.
While you're searching also, you have... no, actually, since she's really intent on helping you, she's not going to do this right now. Alright, so 23, 23, 19. Alright. How long are you all deciding to put into this research?
All night.
I mean, we have until that guy calls us.
Yeah, I think we're
We can sleep
spending
here.
the day at least.
Okay. So the day moves forward, and well, actually, that's the longest audience has been in library in his life, I think.
Audience is much more the guy who's like helping pull down books for Remy to read.
Yeah.
I'm like his assistant. He's like, go get me this book. And I'm like, got it.
That's what Jorg is less about that. He's
Actually,
still
the
just-
real,
book spells, no.
actually, the real funny part is that, you know, like, Raimi doesn't have to make you do that, but he just likes to watch you do it.
Audience does find one book about some divine battle that he gets invested in for a little bit. Read some of
Hey,
that.
audience, can you bend down and get that book way at the bottom shelf over there?
Cue the library montage music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bow, 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 bow.
Hey, what you trying to say?
So you have this interesting little sequence where you get to see a little bit of Jorg and Tobiashi awkwardly looking into books, and Jorg choosing the book from smell, and Tobiashi just looking at Jorg. No, you're just detecting which one is moldiest, not best. Audience just looking into books and trying to figure out, oh, alright, okay, this one talks about religion, and this one talks about gods, and book about dreams. I know someone who would like this, but no. But Remy says he wants it. So, bringing book, and Fisher trying to understand the largest quantity of manual, all talking about trains and the mechanical aspect of it, and since it appears that you might have to fix one, how to fix it, different ways that this can work. And since you have books on you, probably duplicate a few schematics for things that seems to be more complicated. So the hours move forward, and you have a few moments where you meet each other in the library. You all get at least a few glimpses of Cuddles at one point or another. You all notice that he went from just watching everyone to suddenly having two parts of a shearer on his back and moving about as if they were swords. Then eventually, night starts to fall, and you notice the light dimming everywhere. Sachet recommends that everyone be gathered into a single place, because it's better if people from outside don't see that there is a light that there's light coming from the windows. So
I mean, once the lights start going down, I would suggest that we should probably sleep here.
Yeah.
Turn off the lights so nobody knows we're in here.
Yeah. Less risk of being spotted leaving.
Yeah, Fisher can keep doing research if he wants, but actually,
And
I don't
just
even know
in
if he can
case,
see.
Where is that trap door to the sewer?
no, it's right.
I don't wanna-
It's right outside. I just mean I started locking the door because that idiot left a few undead get inside of the city, and some of them followed him inside of the.
Do you know where the sewer leads? Like you said, it comes from outside of the city, right?
Well, yeah.
I
look over
personally would not want to go down a sewer with a bunch
No,
of undead.
no. I look over at audience. I'm like, that might be a way we could get him inside.
Oh,
Not a bad idea.
that's a
Maybe.
good point. That's a good point.
If it leads
Depending on how
outside the
bad the
city,
sewers are.
Depending
That
on
is
how
true.
many undead are there.
I mean,
yeah.
if he has Civ with them going through the sewers, I don't see why
we
they
could
wouldn't
have
make it.
Civ. If we had our whole party, him and Civ, it would, depending
be
on
too
how
bad.
many undead we ran into, it could not be too bad.
And our new member over here. Wait, what was your name again?
I don't know if she has combat abilities.
I've never had to fight a whole lot, but I've at least been able to fend off a few brigands inside of the city.
I mean, she did hit Jorg pretty hard with that bug.
Yeah, she's capable.
Yeah. That was a pretty good wallop.
No. More than actually I've seen you hit for Toby for a lot of the time.
Whoa. Hey now.
Haha! Felt that bird from here.
You know what? Wow. I'm gonna go sleep over here.
Alright, you can go hang out with Cuddles. Enjoy that.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Hang on.
He is very good at watching over people while they sleep.
I was gonna say that pretty much just lets him move around as much as he wants.
I'm gonna grab Cuddles and wrap him around with my silk and just kind of like hold him and sleep with him.
That's a choice. You are welcome to that choice.
How much did you wrap your silk around him exactly?
my full 50 feet.
All right, around his waist, or are you covering?
No, 60. My full 60 feet. I wrap from his neck down to his feet.
You basically mummify him.
He's
Yeah, I
just a little,
mummify him like the spider. It's just his head now.
I think that's more like a swaddle, but sure.
You
Yeah, yeah.
Swaddle
I swaddle
cuddles.
And then I cuddle with him.
See? He has a very good name.
All right, you have fun tonight, Toby.
All right, good night, guys. Turn off the lights. I can't sleep with them on.
The moment you turn around and you go walk in a direction, you see the light dimming around you, and then suddenly, your silk is empty.
Oh no.
That's my cuddle buddy.
No.
No, but
Sorry.
no, you just
I'll
have this
cuddle.
moment of,
Bad.
oh damn, I did stop watching him. Then you look forward and you see him on the bookshelf, just looking at you. He's in the middle of doing a.
I don't think he
fine
wants to
then.
cuddle with you, Toby.
I'll make a pillow with my 50 feet of silk and then go to sleep on it.
All right. I'm gonna turn to Fisher. I'm like gonna be like, "Are you gonna stay up and keep researching? Or are you gonna go to bed?"
Cuddles make for a wonderful partner during night research.
Uh-huh. I think we might get more. Like, I can read more in the day. if
Okay.
need
Well, we
be.
are gonna have to leave soon. Is more my point. I don't know how much more information you want to get.
Uh-huh.
So,
We can come back, but
I think I'm gonna try and sleep.
all right.
so as you
Whether
all
or not I can with cuddles being a thing.
I'm not worried.
We'll
I'm not
see.
worried. I'm not worried about him.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to take the record that Raimi will 100% be cuddling with tonight.
The moment you make the cat appear, you hear Sachet go, "Oh, this is a lovely one. Oh, that's much more interesting than the kind that the other one conjures up. What's his name?"
Raimi opens his beak and
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm not sure I'll be able to pronounce his name properly every single time, but I can surely try. So, at the end of the day, when you have this little moment of gathering around Jorg for your daily dose of
Good berry.
good berry,
I'm
you-
gonna feed the blob too.
oh yeah.
Yeah, is the blob shaking because Cuddles is nearby?
Yeah, what does the blob think of Cuddles?
Friendly dancing. He has a little bit of a jiggle in it, but it's a slow jiggle. So
Okay.
it means you're in relatively low danger right now.
Yeah.
That's good.
So give a good berry to your pet. Shishay, you also have a pet, a second pet. That's so interesting. How many pets do you all have?
We have a lot.
You
We
have
have
a
a
lot.
worm. We got a tree.
got a
He's not
worm?
really a pet.
A tree?
He's not a pet.
We have a. Okay, you know what I mean.
I have
We
my
have
ball.
a. I have a. I have
Technat's
a.
a pet.
I have a large. I have a large cat, but I'm not gonna summon.
Can you
Her.
speak primordial?
Who?
I said, can you speak primordial?
Well, no, but if he can write, I can read it.
No, he's kind of in this ball, and I'll drop down my ball.
You have so many interesting creatures with you. I haven't seen the worm, the pteranad, I don't know what that one is, the tree, and the cat.
Cuddles If you let this blob out, we might all die.
Don't tell him that.
Oh,
You say this looking nowhere, and then you look in front of you, and you see Cuddles mid movement, pointing toward the jar.
Cuddles.
Oh, don't worry. He's very well behaved, and he's not
Better
organic.
be.
Good
but
night.
we are. Yeah, good night.
I sleep
I'll
on the
put the
comfiest pillow
jar-
ever.
Is there a chance that you'll let me see your other pets at one point? I show you mine.
Maybe.
Well, technically, he's not a pet, but
Later on. For now, let's get
I
some
just
rest.
need her to say the phrase. You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
well, unfortunately, right now it doesn't have anything else to show. All right, so
Wink.
as you as you all take this moment to eat your good berry, this very pleasant and hearty meal, so Jorg and Tobiyashi were looking on the spire. The spire
And plants.
and plants. Oh, plants. That's a little harder. You get the feeling that a lot of the traditional plants are there. But generally speaking, everyone advise against going foraging in the forest. Unless you have a very strong party following you. From your perspective, Jorg, while looking at all of this, you'd say that you have enough to... all of the necessary plants to make at least the basic concoctions that you have are all there. So you have insect repellent, something to make people sleep, something to make them crazy scared if they drink the tea, of course. Fatigue removal, make people resilient to environment element like cold and hot. So it's getting chilly out there. You could probably make this ointment, which allows everyone to be resistant to cold temperature. Numbing agent, counter poisoning agent, staple of the druid, a concoction that is very good to cure disease, although you have to know which disease you're attacking. But and another ointment which allows you to see invisible thing, but you lose your normal sight while it's active, so you have to.
Whoa.
So you can only see invisible things?
Yeah, it changes the sight. It removes your normal sight, and it allows you to see invisible things. The description: this ointment grants the ability to see invisible object and creature at the expense of losing one's normal sight.
That's pretty neat.
See?
I imagine.
It's an ointment that you smear on your eyelids.
Whoa.
Burns a little bit, but
Yeah, that sounds extremely uncomfortable.
so you'd get all the plants that you need to make those. Those are the basic ones. When you go to enhance ones, now that's a little bit. It would take you most of the day to find ingredients, and you might have to look far and wide. So these ones you're not sure, but they do include restorative tea, insect repellent that even goes so far as repelling magical insect. One that you might want to give to audience a few times, the amnesia. Mess with him a little bit. One that suspends animation. One that makes someone extremely crazy and attack people if they drink it. and one that
Okay.
grants you clairvoyance. The magical ones, nah, you don't know enough about it. There's not enough in the last tier. There's not enough information for you to find them. You'd have to make very long expeditions to find them specifically. As for the spire itself, what you learn is that it's a multi-tier protocol that to gain access to the spire itself. Okay, I was scared for a moment that we stopped broadcasting. So it's a very long trip. On itself, it's if you were to decide to walk on the rails, it would take you probably several weeks to get there because it's not a direct route. So first, you need to send a confirmation of you being able to get on the tracks, and the first leg of the journey actually lasts several hours. Once you get to the first point, then you have to send confirmation of your arrival, and energy is cut into the trails to get to where you are from all of the islands. So you become isolated on this second part of your journey. You have to venture to each one of the checkpoints. There's 3 of them, each one connecting to an island, but once the energy has been cut, they become isolated. So you have to make a trip to each one of them on the train. Each one serving as a way to inspect the train, repair it. It's a mix of maintenance and security check. But from what you can tell from the book, the security aspect of it has been automated, as it's been a very long while since the Spire has had enough living people to fully man it. So they depend on a lot of machines to run it properly. So as far as you can tell, these 3 checkpoints are manned by machines. You're not sure which one, and you might have to fight your way through some of them at some points. And finally, once you've get all of the checkpoint, you have access to the island on which the Spire is, where the train itself would take you directly in the Spire, where there is a final checkpoint. So probably you'd have to jump off the train before entering the Spire. It has maybe 5 or 6 miles to do before reaching the tower, so you'd have a window probably there to jump off and not find yourself surrounded by machines inside of the Spire. Finding a way inside of the Spire would be more complicated that way, but safer. Or you can just get inside of the tower with the train and finding yourself at the last checkpoint with a whole lot of security machines pointing their weapons at you. So, the 2 obvious choice. Like she said, you'll need to have someone validating your desire to go to the Spire in each one of the stations on the islands. So you need at least 2 people that you don't mind leaving behind for this expedition. So, for example, if you decide to have Colin and Civ waiting for you at each one of those, you wouldn't have access to either of them to climb the Spire.
Which I imagine is what we're gonna do.
That's really up to
if-
you. Civ is a powerful resource that probably knows the inside of the Spire. Colin is apparently very resourceful adventurer. So each one has advantages to having with you.
If they did like send the signal, when we put the thing on the top of the spire and want to leave, would they still be able to come with us?
Their
Or would
orb
they
would
get stuck here?
Their orb, well, that's the thing. Their orb would function as well as yours, but you'd only get a confirmation that they were able to escape once they rematerialize at the garden.
Mm-hmm.
But technically speaking, yes, they would be able to use their orb
Okay.
to transport out.
So any weaknesses?
For what, who, and how?
The spire.
The
Yeah,
spire,
where's the Death Star plans?
the spire
this
itself, it feels like it was intentional. You find several books that were damaged a very long time ago about what's inside of the tower. Very long time ago, I mean, you look at these books and it feels like someone slashed and tore through those pages at least 100 years ago. Someone intentionally removed information containing to how to navigate inside of the tower. And what you can expect, the kind of machines that are there, and a whole bunch of machine schematics have been removed. One example, you do find the name of the grievers inside of the book, but when you reach those pages, these pages have been torn out. Same thing for all of the enforcers. You find in total, you find 12 designs of machines that have been taken out of the books.
Yes, rather that you didn't find.
So that's what you find about the spire itself. The spire itself is extremely tall. Taller than practically any structure you've ever seen. Technically, it nearly reaches the cloud level, but because of the mist, you can't be sure. But it does feel like when you're reading the specification of the tower, it is several hundred feet high. And it goes down also, below the ground, for a good 100, if not 200 feet. It is a large structure. At one point in history, there were as much as 500 people manning this place. But according to the books now, it's nearly only machines manning it. No matter where you go, you will have to find a way around these machines or through them. Which makes having Kaln or Civ a little bit more interesting. At least one of them in your party. On the subject of trains, well, Fisher, because you had such a high roll, you do find a whole lot of things. A whole lot of schematics that would help you fix most small problems. If there was a catastrophic failure and the engine itself would explode or completely fail and stop working, you'd be at a loss. But for any small problems, you'd be able to fix it now. You have sufficient schematic written down or understand the principle behind how these locomotives work rather well. You know that the engine works with the mist. It just draws the mist in and it acts as its source of fuel for the boilers. Because it is essentially a steam engine. But it doesn't use coal or wood or gas, whatever you want. It used the mist itself to create the energy necessary to make the boiler go. And that element, you don't know how it works. How does it transform the mist into energy itself? So there is an element of the train that you can't fix, but most of the rest, you feel comfortable, although some repair might take a while. During the whole research, however, because you rolled so high and because you spent so much time with Sichet, she did notice the symbol on your back, and she did ask you a few questions about it. She seemed very
Right.
interested about it. Having this moment of, have you met your creators?
I have not.
Oh, this is such a shame. I would have loved
Know
to
who they
have their
are?
perspective. Well, if your design is accurate and it's not a copy of something else, it's been a long while since I've read about them. There were two artists. I believe it was a dwarf and a gnome. They created many machines like you. They were known for creating these works of art. Actually, I think there is a garden where they exposed a lot of their creations. Unfortunately, it's on Mid-South. Maybe you have brothers there. Or sisters. I don't know how it works.
Do you know where on Mid-South?
Oh. I believe it was... It's been a long while. I remember reading something about them enjoying making their creation near a lake. So I'm pretty sure there is a lake within a day's walk to where this station was. They were born on the island, so they might not actually have committed a crime from your world. Both of them were born on the island. Oh, but this... If I remember my dates correctly, they've been dead for over 3,000 years. I don't know if there's anything left, but, well, since you're still here, maybe others of their creation have survived through the ages.
Do you know any others?
Well, not active ones. There's a museum in here, actually, on the other side of the city. Few designs, like I said, they were known for the beautiful craftsmanship that they did, and just how in front of the curve they were from everyone else, making them act so lifelike. So, from time to time, one was found and they decided to preserve it. But maybe on High Sal, their museum is bigger. Maybe they have more models there.
All right. Thanks.
Ah, no problem. It's always important to know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Gives you a better idea of where you're going, and what were the intentions of those who made you. But you don't realize it, but sometimes they influence you.
Uh,
Oh, here. I believe this was the schematics that you wanted.
Thank you.
I believe you hear someone sneeze from somewhere else in the in this library. Finally, with Audience and Remy, it's a pretty good roll. So, it's a hard search. And you come across a lot of books that, from today's perspective, would have been censored. From your perspective, they were heavily damaged, and it's hard to have a lot of information. But 23 is a very high roll, so you sort of managed to find a few books that if you put them together and fill in the blanks, you sort of manage to have a small narrative. It's not exactly clear. You have to fill in some blanks, but feels like there was something about the machines taken from the original landmass when it crashed down. And it's machines which have not found their equals even today. According to the books, of course. They were used in the Spire to power it and to act as, well, in a few words, as an AI to help maintain everything. And the fewer the numbers of people taking care of this place became, the more the tower started to depend on these arcane intelligence. Oh, AI. And then something happened. Some books say that one of the arcane intelligence stopped functioning. And they were stuck using only a single one. But apparently, the books say that it was a good thing, because it was dragging the entire capability of the Spire. And not long after, the Spire suddenly becomes extremely powerful. New designs, new machines. The defenses of the Spire become near impenetrable. The normal conclusion is that the removal of this defective arcane intelligence actually removed a huge drain of energy. But some have speculated that it is actually not what happened. Some believe that one of the intelligence was sacrificed and its core energy was used to complement the tower, pushing its ability, its capability beyond anything that had ever been registered before, making the prison an even more effective prison. There are a lot of speculation about what actually happened. Was it sacrificed? Was it used in a different way? The technology behind this was never recovered. But there it is. Judging from the description, what Fisher might have been dreaming about could have been one of those two arcane intelligence. an arcane intelligence that comes from before the shattering, from that original landmass, from audience's religion that can easily be refitted, reinterpreted as maybe it's the consciousness from a dragon. Maybe it's one of the machines that was blessed by dragons to help the people living in the original landmass before it fell. From a wizard point of view, machines, arcane machines, coming from wherever you all came from.
Okay.
So this is all the information that you gathered throughout all of your researches.
Audience is like, this is how I get him. This is how I get Fisher in my religion.
Like, see, you were given life and sentience by a dragon. Technically.
So I don't know exactly how much of this you all share with one another.
I mean,
share
all
everything.
of it from my side.
Okay.
By the way, guys, I gotta go to a museum.
Okay. I'd probably
more
tell
forbidden
Fisher
knowledge.
the information that I got, because I feel like he'd be interested in it, about the original AI. I'm also saying, so there might be some connection between it and the Spire. So there's a chance maybe if we were gonna go for a rescue, that would probably be somewhat near the inner workings of the Spire, if we could figure out where that was.
Mm-hmm. Toby and Jorg, you weren't able to find anything about the actual interior, right?
No, it looks like all the pages were ripped out or burnt or destroyed. There was 12 different robots in there that was also destroyed, so we don't know how they work. But we did figure out what we already knew about getting to the island. Maybe a little bit more.
Right. I think I can fix the train as long as it's not gone.
Would we need to get tools?
Would I need to get any special tools? I have. What do I have? I have Tinkerer's tools and Smith's tools.
That would cover simple repair. There are, of course, a few spare parts that you know you wouldn't be able to simply just build a new one. And it's really up to you. You can try and raid a train spare part cache somewhere, or you can rely on the fact that they might have abandoned material on Mid-Sal. If you want to go there, and it's where there would be the least defenses.
How likely are they to have abandoned material there?
Well,
I thought it was Losal.
It's Mid-Sal. Mid-Sal that was abandoned because of the undead. From the history elements that you know, and that you were able to gather also, Mid-Sal was abandoned relatively fast. The mist became so thick within only a few days of the generator being damaged that anything that didn't have very thick walls fell. So people abandoned them pretty quickly. They tried to hold up in larger places, like the process. Probably they held up there for a longer time. But eventually they had to abandon it. So the bigger you'll go, the more time you'll have, the more time they would have had to prepare their escape. But also the thicker the number of enemies they would have had to gone through if they wanted to escape this. So it's really up to you. there are probably some equipment left in the most remote stations. The one near the sea, for example. They would have immediately been cut off, and they would have tried to abandon it as fast as they could because they knew they would never get reinforcement there. But it's also the one that's the furthest to get to. So the one that has the most chance of having monsters and you having to fight your way through it. But they would probably have been abandoned pretty fast. Those that are closer to where the railroads were would have been defended longer. And probably the stations that connects to other islands would have been the last one, and those they would have had the most time to completely clear out. And you can only imagine what it might have looked like in the process of that island when the undead finally got through the walls. It will have been a vision of nightmare.
Yeah.
Hey, does Jorg's tea have to be hot?
When it's a tea, he does have to infuse it in hot water. It will lose its potency fairly fast, within 4 hours. But it's not going to be hot after 4 hours. So.
You
Well,
want
yeah.
tea?
Well,
If you're potent for longer than 4 hours, please seek a physician.
well, I was thinking we could find a way to keep your tea as potent as it can. Like, if it stays hot, will it stay potent longer, or
So
does it just lose it after
I
4
guess
hours?
you're referring to me when I said the undead repellent. The undead.
Well, there's
the undead
there's
repellent
that-
is an incense. It's not a. It's not a
Okay.
potion. So it's something that you burn.
all right. There's that, and then like, if he can make some of the tea and figure out how to store it somehow, he could have it on him without having to sit down and make it right then and there.
Well, here are the things.
I could.
When it's a tea, you can make bags with the herbs inside.
So that I was gonna say.
You still have to infuse them in hot water, but then it drastically shortens the time that you need to use them if you want to use them doing something. But you still need boiling water. But once they've been prepared, for example, the tea that he did to remove fatigue, once he's put in the 20 hours of preparation for the brew, what he has is a bag filled with the herbs. He places them in hot water, and it will serve up to 8 people. So for 4 hours, that brew is going to remain active. So long as he didn't put it inside of hot water, it can be preserved and kept in a pouch for several months.
Okay. All right, so we need to get you a thermos with boiling hot water all the time. It just always has to have boiling hot water.
I
Or
feel
we
like
just-
for most of those potions, we're gonna have time to
Yeah.
make
just
tea
during
if
a
you
long
want
rest,
to
we
use
can make a
them.
tea.
I will talk to you about this later on, Jorg. Since you spent essentially 3 days gathering herbs, I've nearly finished with the final version of the document. It's because I'm just giving a bonus for if you're using foraged herbs rather than just buying the herbs. Other than that, the entire document is finished, and you have the effects, time of preparation, and success DC for every single potion that I've mentioned and more. So I'll let you choose, depending on the number of hours you take for each one, the equivalent of 3 days of foraging, and you can just subtract that. So it's, I'll give you 3 times 16 hours.
Oh,
And you can just deduce the number of hours as you say, okay, I wanted the herbs for this one and this one and this one. So I'll give you the herbs. You'll still need your to prepare them properly. That you didn't do.
Yeah.
But I'll at least give you the necessary herbs to make the ones you'll be choosing. You'll at least have to take one for fatigue removal, so that it's going to deduce 4 hours of the total, but still. You'll be able to
That
choose.
sounds good. Cool.
Alright, so this is everything you've learned, everything you've found, all of the information that you have. And yes, just like Tobiyashi around this table, around the table over there also, seems like he's ready to go cuddle with Cuddles.
Jorg is ready to go cuddle with his dog.
I like how Tobiyashi in real life just like looked behind himself.
Just
I
gotta
was
make
looking
sure.
at this. No, one second, we'll be right back.
Alright, so if there's anything you want
See?
to... you have your own
It's a
Cuddles?
long-
I don't know why.
Very long.
I in my mind, Cuddles looked a little bit creepier.
It looks like cannon.
And especially since those string puppet, they usually have heads which can turn around. So... So, if there's something you want to settle before we agree that that was the day's research and you all go to bed and tomorrow you're going to do something else, now would be the time to settle it, finish it, talk about it, because I'm going to end the session on this.
I think I could help Jorg prepare some stuff since I have proficiency. Whenever he
Alright.
wants to, I'll just tell him that because I have proficiency in herbalism kit
Ooh,
Well,
yeah, we can do that next session.
and
'cause I
herbalism in
might have
general.
that thing by then.
Right? Well, that would reduce the brewing time if someone helps you. It's what I
Yeah.
did with when audience helped you. I reduced the brewing time because you.
Well, what about
two
like
of
the
them.
tea bag making?
What do you mean by that?
Like, would that help with like making the preparations for the like,
I
not the
think that's
brewing
what
in
he's
general, like
Talking
just
about.
the tea bag. Well, he said that he could make tea bags, right? So it could go faster for the brewing.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
the brew,
so the
Oh, okay.
preparing the tea bags is the slow part.
Oh, okay.
where,
Alright.
if you're doing a tea, this is why when I say brewing time, I don't necessarily mean the mixing in water. I mean it's the preparation time for each one of these things. Because
Okay.
Jorg can make teas, potion, incense, ointment, and object. Teas you have
Okay.
to pour into water. Potions are things that remain stable after they've been made. Incense, it's something that you burn. Generally comes in the form of a small cone that will last anywhere between 10 minutes to an hour, I think. Ointment, it's usually a thick paste. Can have different thickness. Sometimes it can be nearly liquid. Sometimes it can be very thick. And objects, it's usually something that you will create by mixing them with the brew that you made. For example, Jorg saw Sarn using a cone which made a temporary shelter for everyone. Well, that's an object because the cone was dipped in a brew for a number of time until the cone absorbed the energy of this and became this object which can make the shelter. So these are the 5 things that Jorg can do. Yes, I've been working on this for way too long.
It's like
That's a lot.
It's a buff.
So I guess it's not really something that
Jorg, you want to
Like,
make some more good berries?
sure. I'll make some good berries before bed.
Zachary, you were
Yeah,
starting to make
another
something?
thing with
To say something?
Me?
No,
No, Remy.
Remy.
Oh, Remy.
because honestly, now that I am personally thinking about it, and maybe this would be something that we've settled during this particular day or possibly like early the next day, but
Okay.
Rami is going to like just for super clarity, just like a minor illusion, an image of a zombie.
All the information on zombies. Is that what we should look for?
Oh, that's a good idea.
All right, we could do that in the morning.
All right, well, you have a temporary home there. Apparently, Sichet doesn't mind you sharing the library to sleep, so apparently you have a free inn as long as you remain in good terms with her. And cuddles.
Cool. That's more important.
All right.
With the feeling that Rainy gets up in the middle of the night to go use the restroom and then just like...
Looks up and you see Cuddles in front of you. Come on, you're not watching me do this, right? Oh, that's right. I have to close my eyes if I want you to go away.
Those super creepy fluorescent light bulbs that have to flicker a lot before they turn on in the bathroom. He's there, and all of a sudden he's gone.
So yes, for those wondering if the inspiration for those things is a mix of a few things, yes, it is. I am a fan of Doctor Who, and I am a fan of
Well,
Reboot.
second.
So it's a mix of Hexadecimal and the Weeping Angels. Yeah!
I don't think that makes it any better.
Oh, I didn't say this because I thought it was gonna make it better. Alright. So, anything else you want to settle before the session ends? Alright. In that case, I will let you all go as you all, each on your own term, go to bed. All in the same place, or each one in their own little comfortable
Yeah, make my own little book for it.
improvised cove? Yeah.
I mean, I'd stick around everybody else.
Okay.
Mhm.
I just want to know if you all sleep at the same place or if you spread out.
No one sleep in the same place.
Audience made me mad, so I'm sleeping away from everyone.
Audience made you mad? Why?
You're gonna get murdered by a puppet.
I'll be fine.
I insulted his punching power.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was an insult?
I
thought it was
thought
just
I was.
facts.
Yeah, I thought I was just telling the truth.
Spitting facts.
All right, Toby dies tomorrow.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
All
You
right.
guys wake up and Toby's dead. New character time.
So, everyone
Cuddles
goes.
is murdered.
Everyone goes to sleep together, and Tobiashi on the side, glaring violently at audience just before he falls asleep. All right. Well, apparently this is where we end tonight's session. I spent enough time with Fisher, so if you dream, you're gonna know about it next episode.
Alright.
But
You want me to roll now, or should I wait?
oh yeah,
Roll
sure.
now and then convince him you didn't if you don't.
Yeah, sure. No, you can roll right now. That way, I'll know if I have to improvise something in advance or on the spot.
He has advantage on his rolls, right?
I'm not sure if it's really improv if you have
Use
time.
the help action.
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. If he rolls now, I don't have to improvise for the next one. If he waits until the next one, I have to improvise.
No, I don't think you have to do anything. That's a 3. I don't know why I rolled that die. It was not doing great for me today,
All right, so
and I can't use my coin.
you've used it for your research. I hope you feel it was worth it.
But he's sleeping
yeah, I
by
think
audience, so
It was gonna be like a 14 otherwise,
Okay.
which is not bad, but it's also not very
Not what you
good.
want.
And we're looking for very good results currently.
doesn't he get plus from sleeping next to audience?
No, that's Remy. That's not Fisher.
Oh, you mean for being within 10 feet of me?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess is it the
It's a
save
save.
or the check?
Depends on what
Hey,
you want
Okay,
to
well
do.
then it's
But-
then it's a 5.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference.
Yeah.
So Raimi always gets a 1-up next to audience.
Well, something's up, definitely. But,
Oh, I think this is a
It took
really
me a
good
second.
moment to end the stream.
Oh, it took me a second.
Unfortunately, whenever we finish the stream, most of them don't stay after, so, I don't get to hear more of that. Sometimes thankfully I don't get to hear more, but there are the times where I wouldn't mind. Alright, so, I know, you're in the library, you're not actually in front of a campfire, but, that's gonna be that.
hope there's not a fire in the library.
Yeah, no, we're just burning the not important books.
Yeah, the books that were damaged, those that you can't read anything from it, you just...
I feel like the librarian would not be happy with us if we started burning her books.
No, but even worse, Cuddles might have a problem with this.
Like, hey everybody,
We'll
I
burn
brought
Cuddles.
some sex. Oh my gosh!
What I want to know what Cuddles is like, when Cuddles actually attacking you, does he like stop moving when you like look at him, or does
Well,
he keep attacking once he's in attack mode?
Think about it. He can only attack you when you're not watching him, so he always attacks with advantage and a
Yeah.
critical.
But also, you could just look at him and kill him until he's fully destroyed. So,
As long as you don't blink or need to look at anything else.
And if you have to really if you really get down to the meta sense, just like it's like like being able to not blink for so many seconds.
And also, think about it. Sachet has been living with that thing for a while. Maybe she has things to help him if she needs to. Just saying.
I'm also not here to kill Cuddles, because that would make Sachet mad.
Good.
Audience would not
will
want that.
Set her on the list.
All right. And Remy, although he might not like Sachet, respects Cuddle. All right. So, with this, everyone going to sleep. Fisher being too rattled by Cuddle
Cuddles is freaking me out.
to be able to go to
I'm
sleep.
like, he's like, okay, I'm safe. I can sleep.
Then your head turns
I'm in a
around.
safe spot. And then there's just this doll. It's fucking cheers. You're like, nope, not safe.
But apparently Sachet is very comfortable because she's already sleeping, but you're just staring at Cuddles. I can't look away. I must not look away. Alright, so, and with this pleasant image and thought, tonight's session comes to an end. You have a fade out, and because there is a fade out, Cuddles is free! No. We have the end
You
of
stop watching the stream, Cuddles will come after you.
Cuddles is always watching whenever you're not. Alright, so we hope you had a pleasant evening tonight, or beginning of the day, or wherever it is where you are. If you're watching this from the space station, it's not a moment of the day, it's just
I hope there's someone on the space station watching us. That'd be pretty cool.
I don't think they would allow them to have this much time, and I think they would go for a bigger channel than one that doesn't even have 100
Maybe.
viewers. But hey, if you want us to be watched from orbit, you can always at least become a follower, at least reach our 100 followers. And as I was saying, I hope you had a pleasant evening. I hope you will be there next Wednesday or next Friday if you're watching this on the rebroadcast. And as always, I know I always finish on this, but still, they keep telling me that it's important that I say it. If you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us, subscribing, and becoming members, and on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon. You can also simply make a donation. That's always very useful. Helps to pay the electric bill, which is useful for broadcasting. And if you can't do any of those kind of support, either by following, by subscribing, by giving donations, well, you can always simply spread the word of this channel and have more people come and watch us. Because it's fun when there's more than one people talking in the chat, because I always feel guilty when they're alone. So please, come, watch us. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Today.